Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Simpleton Cinema.
Hey everybody, what is up? As always, I'm your host, Ross and Preston. I'm sitting here with my co-host, Preston.
Everyone, Sago.
And quickly, I just want to welcome on Dan and Jordan from MoneyBasics onto the podcast. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up? Happy to be here.
Hell yeah, happy to have you. And just in case you guys forgot, this is Simpleton Cinema. This is a podcast where we talk about movies and whatever else is happening in the world. We're here to break down and discuss your favorite or your least favorite movies. If, every movie is someone's favorite, then we're here to try and see why. Give us a listen and you'll have our big dumb opinion on some of the biggest movies and TV shows out today. So, happy holidays, everybody. This is our first go at our holiday season here.
Holiday month.
So we're doing Die Hard. Arguably one of the best Christmas movies ever. No, but we'll get into that. But yeah, we have our lineup of movies coming. We've announced them. So we have Die Hard. Next week we're doing
Violent Night.
And
then Elf.
And
then Commando.
Maybe. it's a movie about new beginnings. Maybe we'll get it in the new year. Also, we have, I said this earlier, but we have Dan and Jordan Poirier on here from MoneyBasics. So we're happy to have you here. Dan is like one of my best friends. I've known these guys forever, so it's really, really awesome to have you guys on. So, I don't know, you guys have a podcast, right? So, you guys want to introduce that?
Plug your shit.
Yeah,
Talk about your shit.
This is like the crossover event of the century where money meets film. No, actually, these two things are not related at all. No. We're more here for the personal relationship, but we do have our own podcast, MoneyBasics, where we basically talk about all aspects of personal finance, more from a Canadian perspective, but some of these things sort of apply across the board. And the idea is to give mostly young people or people sort of starting out in their like money journey, the education that we never got through like public school.
That we should have got from
100%.
10 through 12.
100%.
Yeah,
and it's, I say young people, but it's everyone. Like, if you could learn this stuff at 16, that would be ideal. But, like, there's many people at 30 plus that haven't learned this stuff. So,
guilty.
No, that's right.
Same.
So, best time to learn is now. So, that's kind of our mission, is to tackle this stuff in, like, a relatable way, in, like, plain English that everyone can understand and you don't have to be an accountant. That's kind of what we do, but today we're more about the movie and less about the money.
Hell yeah, let's get it.
But you're paying us, right?
There is a crossover though.
And hugs.
Did you actually look it up? So in this movie they talk about like the whole premise is they're trying to
Bonds.
steal the bear
Yeah,
bonds or
steal
whatever.
the
Did
money.
you look that up? Is that
that's
actually
true.
legit?
Oh, back then it was, yeah. Times have changed. They're a lot more secure.
So much freaking bearer bonds. Was it $640 million in bearer bonds?
I feel like the modern equivalent would be like, we're stealing this, and there's a bunch of crypto on this hard drive.
Honestly, there would be.
Yeah.
So, when I first watched the movie, I misunderstood. I thought it was bear bonds, like the right to just
Like
they're just
grizzly
gonna
bears?
like you got
Bear
a vault
bonds.
full of bears. I don't know, but that would have been pretty cool too. But
Vault full of grizzly bears.
Hell yeah. All right, so if you guys are looking to increase your knowledge on money, give MoneyBasics a listen to help you out. And I don't know, so what's new going on right now? Jonathan Majors, that shit just started.
The trial just started.
The trial.
Did you guys see the Fallout trailer?
no.
Fallout Boy Season 4, all kinds of trailers dropped.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. I just didn't see it.
I haven't seen it either.
Who's
I've
in-
seen
who's in
pictures, but
Fallout?
Yeah.
Walton Goggins.
Walton
is
Goggins.
in it.
he's the best.
I know he's
He's
sick.
a
Isn't he the ghoul? Yeah,
He's a
they showed
ghoul.
pictures of
Yeah.
that.
Of course he's the ghoul. He looks like a ghoul.
No nose.
And the first picture I saw that though was of the robot military there, the suits. What do you call
Oh
those
yeah, the
things again?
huge suit.
the power suits.
The power suits. So they looked.
I've never played
It
Fallout.
looks
so I don't know.
awful.
Dude.
I know.
I played 3 hours of the third one.
Dude.
That was
Wow,
it. Yeah.
New Vegas
You
was
guys are missing
amazing.
out.
Fallout 4 was pretty good. So those suits, the first picture I saw on Google when it came out, they looked awful. They looked like Power Ranger
Yeah.
costumes. But then I saw another picture and maybe they like took an unedited picture, like a raw, and then they took like an edited picture and it looked much better like
Yes.
in the edited version, I think. So I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe this is gonna be like, remember the Sonic movie? The first like
Where they got
draft
bullied.
of Sonic was like the
Bullied
scary.
into making it right.
It was like
Bullied
the
into making it
scary
better.
looking hedgehog from your nightmares, and they're like, we need to like round the edges a little bit.
No, I think we're getting into like a time now where video game movies might be getting a bit better and stuff. At least video game media.
Yeah.
I mean, Halo infamously wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it looked good,
It
and
looked
like the
good.
production quality was there. It's just like it just
they
didn't.
miraculously got a season 2. The
I have no idea how
Trailer
they did
for
that.
it came out yesterday as well. I didn't bother watching it because I'm just sold out on it.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if like The Last of Us is like emboldened these like
Yes.
production
Oh,
companies.
definitely.
Like they're like, wow, that was a runaway success. We can repeat
I
that.
feel like it's shown people and most importantly the executives that you let creatives do what they want, that it'll be good.
Yeah.
But I found what they did right in The Last of Us is they followed the original script close enough that it was familiar, but
Yeah.
they took liberties where it sort of made sense to keep it fresh for people who had played the games or whatever. So it was like
Yes.
they really balanced that line properly.
I mean, we were talking about that. Like, it would have been corny if it was just like a shot for shot remake of a
yeah.
video game.
It made me think of if you remember Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. So I remember watching that movie when I was like younger, and it was like amazing. I loved it at the time. I actually still kind of like it. Obviously,
I
there's
think
some spots
everybody
that
has
are-
that.
Relatable.
But there was
Relatable.
the Phantom Menace PC game that I played at home,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
the
shit.
cutscenes from the PC game were like outside of the movie, so it almost explained more about the movie in the game, and I loved it. And I think The Last of Us like kind of hit that nostalgia for me.
Man,
Like,
I
true,
have
yeah.
like very vague memories of this game. Like, I remember like there's like you're in some fan room or something like that. You're trying to have to jump across it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I remember about.
I have
that
a
game.
line from that game burned in my memory. It's just Qui-Gon saying, "Doors open, let's go," and that's just stuck in my brain. Plays on repeat. I can't turn it off. Like I need to go to an asylum to like get this sorted out.
Please help. Please help. I don't know. Was there anything to say about Jonathan Majors and his trial starting? You guys heard about all that stuff and how it's
I actually don't know a whole lot about it.
So Jonathan Majors strangled his girlfriend
Allegedly.
allegedly, and
That's a big one.
and he was like set up to like be the next big
Yeah.
thing in Marvel.
He
you guys
had
were talking about that a lot.
Creed 3 came out and he was excellent in
Yeah,
it.
he was good in that. The movie wasn't that good, but he was good in it. And I mean, like him and
Was Creed 3 better than Creed 2? he gets beat up, he comes out, the reporter's like, "Hey, why do you suck?"
oh yeah, and he just like goes into the desert, and he's like all of a sudden he's like the best fighter in the world again. But no, like he was like set up to like really take on a huge role in Marvel, and now that all this legal trouble is happening, they're like backing off of it.
Yeah, but they have basically at the end of Loki season 2, there's a door open for him to not come back. They left it open ended.
So I know it's a bunch of stuff. I mean, like there was talk about them just ditching him outright as soon as everything started, before it even went to trial.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy because it's a misdemeanor offense, right? And I guess those typically don't go to trial that often. Like they usually get settled out of court, like before even it gets there. So I think it's just like the high profile
Like the
Yeah,
girl
person.
died, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So
If she died, this would be
that's
It'll
what
be an
I
open
just,
and shut case.
I just want to
They're
make
like,
it
we
clear.
might keep him, we might not.
This
Like,
isn't
he
O.J.
killed
Simpson,
somebody.
man.
The glove did fit.
Yeah.
This time. So I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, what was the thing? Like they fought in their car, right? The boy, Jonathan Majors and his girlfriend.
He's trying to say that she beat him up instead of vice versa, because she was out at a club that night and she looked fine, I guess.
I mean, like she looked fine,
Yeah,
or like she looked okay.
She looked uninjured.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Glad I
misinterpreted
cleared
that.
that
too.
up.
Allegedly.
I was like,
maybe
I was
both.
like, okay, noted, but not sure how that relates to the case.
So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, we're getting close to the end of this now. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this trial's going to go because I mean, seems pretty like clean cut, right? There's like clear evidence. I guess there's something they're trying to withhold evidence from the public that would have like damned everything. Like all the jurors and everything would have like been out the window. There's been nothing for them to like actually try in the courtroom. So.
Yeah, Disney's probably just being cautious because, like, Disney, the kids brand, and dudes strangling women is like that doesn't really align too good, you know?
Doesn't go together well.
So he's got like this movie that's just done on the shelf called Magazine Dreams.
Is that the like bodybuilder?
He's like a bodybuilder guy, and it's
Is he even jacked?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's jacked, yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
All steroids though, probably.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
well.
for him.
I tried
Way
to
to commit.
I tried to do his workout he did for Creed 3, and like I got like a rep in, and I was
Sick.
like, yeah, no, that's not for me.
Can't pull it off with this equipment.
But I guess it's like a Oscar like winning worthy movie, and it's
Yeah,
just
that's what I've heard too.
on the shelf.
That's too bad.
A lot of that happening these days. Oh shit.
Well, people just need to like not be weirdos and just like behave, you know,
not strangle their girlfriends.
It's not that hard. I feel like the concept's pretty easy, man.
I feel like post-COVID, everybody's
strangling their girlfriends.
crazy.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I got a theory on that. I think like actors that like I find people that get rich, I think they just ultimately get bored.
Yeah.
And then they just get crazy.
And they're just looking for thrills wherever they can find them, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, go skydiving. Like, what are you doing, man?
Makes me think of Altered Carbon. You guys ever watch that show?
No, I haven't watched
Oh,
it.
you
First
gotta
couple
watch that.
episodes of the first season.
Yeah, it's
They have, like,
all
the
about
stacks
like
right in the back of their head.
the socioeconomic status. Like if you can look at it on the surface and it's just kind of a fun show to watch.
Yeah.
But if you dig deep and you look at it like and you're like, wow, it's kind of a mind fuck.
Sick.
It is cool.
It's hard to get into Netflix shows because you don't know if it just
How they're going to be.
gets canceled and there's no
Do I
conclusion.
commit to this? Or?
Yeah.
Well, they made 2 seasons of the Altered Carbon, and if they don't make another one, I wouldn't be sad.
Okay.
But the 2 that are out are really
Cool. All right, well, if there's nothing else to say, I think we
got a
get
movie to
started
talk
on this.
about,
Yeah, we have a
fellas.
whole movie to talk about still. Been rambling on for 10 minutes. So this week we are talking about Die Hard.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
California.
Is Daddy coming home with you?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
A New York cop, John McClane, has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Sit down.
Within this skyscraper high above the city, 12 terrorists have declared war.
They're about to be taught a lesson in the real use of power.
This is the original movie trailer voice, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
$640 million
What a great
in
game.
gold.
As they are ruthless,
And I'm telling you, you're just gonna have to kill me. Okay. We do it the hard way.
now, the last thing McClane wants
Think, damn it, think.
is to be a hero,
Where's Holly? Hey, Tucker! Where?
but he doesn't have a choice.
What does he think he's doing?
Job.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
He's inside? Who is he?
Someone here inside.
Who are you then? You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, huh? Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
But you just destroyed a building. I am in charge of this situation. Well, I got some bad news for you. From up here, that look like you're in charge of Jack. He is alone, he is tired, and he hasn't seen Dipping Squad from anybody down here.
They showed the
Yeah, I
boobs in
was
the
about
trailer.
to say they showed the boobs.
I'd rather be in Philadelphia. And you have it.
Only John can drive somebody that crazy.
He's an easy guy to like
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
and a hard man to kill. Bruce Willis, Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
Man, these trailers.
That is an 80s trailer if I have ever seen one.
It's like right at the end of the 80s too, where it's like almost 90s, but very much 80s.
This was peak cinema. It like nothing got better after this.
Trailer boobs.
Hell yeah.
They blocked like 15 swear words with explosions, and they were all different explosions.
That's the best. So this movie was directed by John McTiernan, who's actually done quite a lot of like iconic action movies. I won't get into all of them because that's a question in trivia, so we'll get to that. And it was released.
Does this director have like a thing for feet or something?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
You don't
Maybe
think
maybe
so?
just this one. It's not Quentin Tarantino.
It's a good question though.
Yeah, it's a valid question.
I don't think so. Because there's no feet in any of his other movies that I can think of.
You don't know that. Now you're gonna like watch one and look
I know
out
I
for
am. I'm gonna watch one and be like, on the lookout for feet. Was released in the year 1988.
35 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it still holds up. This movie is awesome.
Yeah.
I remember it was the big thing. Bruce Willis was like paid $5 million to be in this movie.
In 1988,
In 1988.
That's like a billion today.
That's crazy.
MoneyBasics, inflation, the math checks out.
I don't know. So let's just go around. And what were your initial thoughts watching it again? Because, I mean, I feel like it's one of those movies that I watch all the time still.
So before we recorded, I said, I've never watched this in full. I've just seen clips of it. This is amazing.
Yeah, right?
This is the action movie. the action movie.
Would you guys?
So I watched it again knowing that we were going to do this episode, and I typically watch it like once a year. But I guess I've watched it in its entirety originally, but like moving forward, like I kind of just watch clips and stuff usually. And I wanted to pick it apart because I'm like, I'm going on this podcast. I want to like tear it apart, and I just can't. Like, there's only a couple things, but like even the things that are like bad are good.
Yeah, it's true. The bad things make it good.
Yeah.
My reaction rewatching this, and I'm the same boat. I rewatch this like annually along with all the other Die Hard, all the other original Die Hards.
I actually did that rewatching this. I watched the next Die Hard. Well, I didn't watch Die Hard 2 because I've seen that one a lot. I watched Die Hard with a Vengeance after I watched this recently. I'm like, yes.
Which one's the one with Samuel L? Is it
that one's with a Vengeance?
Yeah, rewatching this, same reaction that I had in like 92 when I first watched it when I was a year old. Oh yeah.
And I'm in the same boat as you guys. I watch this movie like every year probably. It's on my Christmas list. I watch it every Christmas.
I'm gonna have to. It's on the Christmas list now.
And it was just a delight to watch it again. I just loved it. I had so much fun watching it, and every time I watch it, I realize why I love it. Like, it's just so good. And I think it's probably Bruce Willis's most iconic performance out of any of them that he's had.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in some like banger movies, but this is the one that put him on the map and kept him there for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I got a question for everybody. Is this a Christmas movie? There's a lot of debate about that. A lot of people think it is. A lot of people think it's not. I know Bruce Willis has come out and said it's not a Christmas movie.
What does he know?
He's wrong.
He's
wrong. He was just in it.
Didn't the directors or the producers, some important person came out and said, or the studio came out and said it was a Christmas movie?
They did.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But
like 30 years later, they did.
Even like the score is based around Christmas music.
Yeah, like in the first like 5 minutes, they've got like a Run DMC Christmas song.
Is it the Nutcracker that's constantly playing?
It's I think it's Ode to Joy.
Yeah. And there's like, probably about 4 or 5 Christmas references throughout.
Yeah.
And even like the bad guys, their theme song is like a slowed down version of Ode to Joy, I'm pretty sure. Like you hear it all over the place.
And they say Merry Christmas a bunch. Like it's a Christmas party.
It takes place on Christmas Eve, right?
And like no offense, or maybe it's a low blow, but Bruce Willis has dementia, so.
Yeah.
Well, when did he say that it wasn't a Christmas movie?
When did he say that?
Because if he said it like 20 years ago.
He went undiagnosed for a long time.
Yeah.
That could be. Yeah.
Just one day he just couldn't talk, and they're like, "Oh, I guess he has dementia." When was that? I think that was like maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Some like interview that came out. He's like, "No, it's not a Christmas movie."
He's like notoriously kind of grumpy though, so I don't know if I would. I think
he was probably just having a bad day.
Yeah. He's just like, get away from me.
Don't talk to me.
Whatever you want me to say, I'm going to say the opposite. That was probably the mood he was in. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to our cast. So, answer the question is: it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
We all agree on that.
Unanimous.
All right, so let's move on to the cast of this movie. So we got Bruce Willis playing John McClane in his like best role ever. We got Alan Rickman playing Hans Gruber.
Yes.
Bonnie Bedelia playing Bonnie Bedelia playing Holly Gennaro McClane. We got Reginald Vell Johnson playing Sergeant Al Powell. So those are like the main
guys.
I don't know who are like some of the other side people, but there's a lot of like no name 80s people, right? And
I read a thing about how they picked like the 12 terrorist crew, and they just chose them by how angry they looked. Like they're just like, you look mean, you look mean, you look mean, and like they were saying like 80% of them were like over 6 feet tall, like just a bunch of huge dudes.
They all just look outrageously mean and European.
And what's the thing? Like Bruce Willis is the most German out of all of them.
Yeah,
he was actually
like
born in Germany.
Yeah,
and like they're all like trying to.
And isn't Alan Rickman English?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know where the rest of those guys are from, but
they all look like Swedish. They're all like blonde and beautiful. Who knows? Blonde-haired, blue-eyed, beautiful men.
Only the two guys, in all fairness. I mean, you got Skullet running around. I don't know how he came about.
He's a really diverse like terrorist group.
Yes. They got the black tech guy, and then they've got the Asian Skullet dude.
man.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the Skullet guy's a stunt actor.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% on that, but I've seen him before. I'm sure.
He's my favorite of
Is
the
he in
terrorist
Rush
crew.
Hour?
Might be.
That's racist.
I was right the last
That's
time
true.
I
You
said
were.
that, though.
That was funny. Yeah, we were trying to figure out what some actor in this one movie we were doing from. He's like, I don't want to sound racist, but was he in Rush Hour?
And he was.
And we looked it up. I was like, yeah, he's in Rush Hour. Oh shit, that's funny. All right, so let's. I don't know. Are there any other sort of people worth bringing up in the cast? I wish I knew who played Argyle. I don't know who that actor is.
Argyle.
Yeah.
My biggest question is who's the guy who played? What's the cokehead guy's name?
I don't know.
Oh, what the hell is,
Who is he,
his
and
name?
what has he done since? Because he needs to be in everything.
I know he's great. What the hell is that guy's name? I'm gonna look
Hans,
that up.
Bubby.
Oh, that's the first one. We need to get a counter going.
And
on
who's
that.
the boss? Who's like Nakatomi?
Oh yeah, he's cool too. Super deep voice.
I don't know. He died.
Don't
Yeah,
don't
but,
ask
like-
if he was in Rush Hour, Preston.
He died a martyr, right? I don't know.
Oh, gross! I pull up Die Hard and it's showing Justin Long. So I'm like,
Hey, you know
gross.
what? That fourth Die Hard was like it was okay. It wasn't like a
okay.
traditional Die Hard movie, but it was all right.
Devereaux White is Argyle. Who's the guy? Who's the cokehead? Cokehead. It's like showing every single person who was in every single movie. Okay,
Was that Charlie Day? No.
I wish.
No, but to answer your recasting question, maybe it should be Charlie Day.
That'd be perfect.
All right, so Takagi is James Shigeta. I've never seen him before.
He was the sickest. I can't even say it.
Tagagi. Oh, and the Skullet guy, his name's Al Leong.
Nice.
I don't know who the hell's the cokehead guy? Is that him? Oh, Ellis. Yeah,
Ellis, that's right.
Hart Bachner. That's the
Heard of this
actor
guy.
name. What else has he been in?
He's almost on the level of the guy from True Lies. He's ass like a 12-year-old boy. Is his nose broken? He's like almost on that guy's level.
Yeah. No, this guy hasn't been in anything. He was a voice in Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. That's like his.
Really took off.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
It's hard to get better than this. All right, so I'll do this brief summary of what we got here. So NYPD cop John McClane goes on a Christmas vacation to visit his wife Holly in Los Angeles, where she works for the Nakatomi Corporation. While they're at the Nakatomi headquarters for a Christmas party, a group of robbers, led by Hans Gruber, take control of the building and hold everyone hostage, with the exception of John, while they plan to perform a lucrative heist. Unable to escape and with no immediate police response, John is forced to take matters into his own hands.
Does he ever?
And he does. Spoiler alert, he does. All right, so I don't know. Let's hop right into what people liked about this movie. I have a bunch of points here, so I'll get going right away. But I really thought that Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman carry this movie. Hard carry. I mean, like every other side character is like really like 80s cheese, and it's great, and they're all great in their own right. I think like they all need to be in this movie, but
They're great for their time.
yeah. But I mean, Alan Rickman and Bruce Willis together, they're just electric, right? Even like just their solo performances, but when they're on screen together, it's freaking fireworks, man. So Bruce Willis, we talked about before, he was kind of a nobody before this, but he was in like a couple movies, he was in a TV show, and this was like his first big thing, and like they really took. The studio took a real big chance on getting Bruce Willis in this movie. It was like he was like not even their third person on their list on who they were asking. They asked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Al Pacino, all these like big name actors in the time. And then he comes in, and it's just sort of like a really different performance than what I think anybody else could have done.
If they would have cast Schwarzenegger, that would have changed the whole movie.
I know it just would have
Would
been
have been more cheesy.
It would have been like what's the Rock movie that's basically this Skyscraper. That's what it would have been. It would have been that basically. But yeah, this movie made Bruce Willis an A-lister like throughout the rest of his career, and it was just cool because I mean like the performance we get from him is definitely like an everyman performance, a very relatable one.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drives the movie. I think that's what makes him and just the movie itself so watchable even all these years later.
This is Alan Rickman's first feature film.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. He was just on TV until this movie came out.
TV and theater, yeah. He didn't. He had a lot of reservations about doing this movie because
he's like
he
a
was
classically trained theater actor.
Oh yeah, hardcore.
And like, wasn't there a whole thing where like actors didn't want to get cast as the bad guy for a while? Was that actually a thing? Where like,
I think it was more had to do with like being typecast and stuff and like limiting themselves. But I mean, usually in these movies, the villains are like some of the more standout roles, right? I mean, even this one, Hans Gruber is like one of the best people in the whole damn movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, like he had apprehensions about doing it because he didn't want to be typecast, and that's exactly what ended up happening, right? He just ends up playing all these villain roles for mostly his whole career. But still, like this is like an iconic performance from him too. I mean, it's the one that put him on the map. This movie put so many people on the map. It's a very unselfish movie that way because it just
didn't
made
put
everyone's careers
Ellis on the map though.
No. He just went to do Batman after that. So yeah, so what are some of the things that make Bruce Willis an everyman for me? It was like his internal dialogue being spoken out loud, just like how he just sort of says stuff.
He talks like me when I hit a bad shot on the golf course.
Just freaking golf, man. Yeah. We'll go out to the golf course, have a few laughs. No, it's just like all that stuff. I mean, he sort of talks kind of like how we do, right? Like he sees those people like hugging in the airport, and he's just like, Los Angeles. There's that.
You don't see that a lot in movies.
No, and like he's like vulnerable in this movie. It's not just about the fact that he doesn't have shoes, right?
Yeah,
like that's a physical thing.
We were just making fun of that.
Yeah.
But like that's a legit vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
And they like purposely obviously wrote that in.
Oh yeah.
To show that like how unprepared.
Yeah, it's like it's just all this stuff like I mean like he takes his shoes off because he's like
bad for
jet lag.
Putting the feet.
Yeah, you did this.
This is my fault. I'm sorry, guys.
Maybe you're the one who's in defeat. So there's that. He's just trying to make this fists with the toes, right, to try to get grounding more back on the ground. So there's that, but there's also like some like actually like really emotionally vulnerable moments. I find like there's the part whenever he's like talking to Al Powell about how like he's like sorry about his wife and how he like, should have supported her and all this stuff. It's actually like a really touching scene that you wouldn't expect at that point, and it's like it needs to be there because it just makes you feel for.
And the best part about it is everybody can hear it who's listening.
Yeah, I know. It's a party line. I don't know how they don't know that.
There's a lot of
going on.
Radio mistakes.
Yeah.
Die Hard just fundamentally does not understand radios, and they're inconsistent with their own made-up rules of how a radio works too.
Can you imagine having like a heart-to-heart convo in like an Xbox party chat, Call of Duty?
The whole lobby.
The whole lobby is like just stops and listens.
Just calls you the N-word. Right, and so Alan Rickman, I mean, he does a great job in this, but there's like very famous scene like where they're talking to each other and he's pretending to be Bill Clay. That was added in last minute, and it was mostly improvised and not rehearsed and all that stuff.
Was that all Alan Rickman?
No, it was like the producers and the directors, they saw that Alan Rickman could do a really good American accent.
Well, I was just going to say, it was pretty terrible.
Yeah, I know. But like, they thought it was good. I mean, it's the 80s. Everyone was coked out on this.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
So they're there. They hear him do the accent. They're like, okay, good enough.
They're all ripping coke.
That'll do. Best actor ever.
But I think throughout filming, they realized how talented Alan Rickman was, and they wanted to like take full advantage of that. So they made this scene, or improvised it, did them, and it's like one of the most tense, suspenseful scenes out of the whole movie.
Yes,
like I love that scene.
It was a very cool scene, and it was like it's sort of a battle of wits too, because you could see like, especially after rewatching it 17 times. Like you can see how they're like both trying to catch each other, like tripping
each other up.
They're like, they're like not sure of each other, kind of thing. Like they have their suspicions, and they're trying to. It was pretty cool. It was well done.
And there's a thing I have in here about the action. Like it builds a lot of suspense through dramatic irony by letting the audience know stuff that the characters don't necessarily know. So in that one, there's none of that, right?
No.
No one knows what's going to happen. You don't know if the guy if there's bullets in the gun or anything like that. You don't know who knows who is who. If there's none of that stuff. So you're sort of in that moment with them, and like just that scene it's just great. And you could tell that it was just because they knew that Alan Rickman was the guy he is. He is him.
He is him.
Alan Rickman was him.
What I do find interesting about that scene, though, is so Bruce Willis meets up with Alan Rickman in like a back hallway, and then he's not sure he's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
So then Alan Rickman puts on this impeccable American accent, and then makes a good cover story. And Bruce Willis is like, "Okay, you're gonna help me out." And he says, "You know how to use a gun?" He's like, "Yeah." So he pulls out this pistol from his belt, and he like checks the mag and checks the chamber, and you don't really see what he sees, but clearly he's confirming it's empty, but nobody knows that. Yeah. And then he hands the weapon to Alan Rickman, who then turns it on him and is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you." And
he's supposed to be like a terrorist.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Did he actually check it?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Willis does.
And Bruce Willis is carrying around this empty Beretta in his weight. Like, he didn't unload the bullets. It was empty. Yeah. So he's been carrying this around for God knows how long. But throughout the movie, you watch him. Every time a gun's empty or not useful to him, he just chucks it away. So why was he walking around with an unloaded Beretta? Did he think he would come across mags? Did he have mags in his pocket? Why didn't he reload it earlier?
I have an argument to that. That's his service pistol. That's what he started with.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his pistol. Oh, that might make sense.
Yeah,
maybe he's still thinking about, like, I can't leave.
Because he's got it holstered.
Yeah. He has it on the plane.
That's actually good. That's probably what it is.
Every law enforcement officer is allowed to carry in the States, anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, is that still true? Like, even on airplanes and stuff?
Because I went to...
Was in the 80s.
Went to New York City last year.
Everyone was packed.
And guns aren't allowed in Manhattan except... For cops. And
that's cool.
My sister's boyfriend brought his gun.
Sweet.
Nice.
So, I don't know. Are there any other sort of things relating to Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman that you guys want to bring up before we move on?
Well, I like back on the whole thing of like Bruce Willis being the unlikely like action hero, I guess, and they took a big bet on him. Like growing up in that era watching action movies, it was all like Stallone and Schwarzenegger. These jacked untouchable, like bigger than like larger than life humans that like just wreck everybody. Steven Seagal, Van Damme, like and then here comes Bruce Willis. He looks
like us.
Yeah, he's like kind of jacked, but not really. Yeah. And he just gets absolutely destroyed the entire movie. Like by the end of the movie, he just looks like a train wreck. He's like filthy. He's full of blood. He's got like 15 injuries. He's got a headache. He's like popping aspirin all the time. like that. He's just this unlikely hero who just like stumbles through it, and like half of his wins are just sheer luck, and you don't usually see that in that era.
Because he's from New York City.
That's right. He's a cap.
He's gritty. Yeah. He's feisty.
Exactly.
I wonder, like, if that was... I haven't really looked at it, but I wonder if that was sort of the turn into making those action heroes more like everyman people. I'm sure it was. You have to think it was.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah,
I would.
Because after that, you started seeing it more and more. I mean, there was a bunch of diehards that kind of followed that trend, and then you kind of got away from... Gradually, you got away from the Arnold walk around just mowing people down.
What's the one with Sam Worthington in it? Is that the newest one? I don't know.
That's Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney, yeah.
And that's the newest one. That's a good day to Die Hard.
I haven't rewatched that. I did watch it when it came out, but I don't remember.
No, I don't either.
Worthington's in it?
No, it's not.
Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney. Same.
That's the newest one where he goes to Russia.
Yeah.
He goes to Russia, right?
The sun, right?
And that's a whole like nuclear thing.
Two Australian men for each other.
They're all the same down under. All right, so let's see. What do I have here? The side characters, I think, are all awesome. I mean, we've talked about
I love Argyle.
We've talked about Ellis, right? Yeah. And Argyle is one of my favorites
just
too.
Pure vibes in a character, if I've ever seen one.
I mean, like Theo too, the hacker guy. He's like wildly crazy. Have
you seen? There's a movie with the guys from Workaholics.
Game Over.
Game Over. Have you seen Game Over? It's like a joke on Die Hard.
Parts of it.
But there's the part where they get that like black hacker guy come in. He's like, they're like, can you get this hacker out? He's like, you didn't bring me along because I look like the hacker from Die Hard, did you? Is that actually the same guy?
No, it's
Wouldn't
not.
That be so funny?
I
if
looked it up. I thought it was.
That would have been a
too.
really awesome joke.
No, I think who the hell's that guy? I know that actor. He's in like Ted Lasso, and he's in
who's he in Ted Lasso?
A bunch of other shows. He was like the Nigerian, the Nigerian super team owner in that one. That's that guy from Game Over, but that's not Argyle.
Have you seen Game Over? Dude, it's so good.
I haven't seen it in a while though. I don't remember a lot of it.
It's hanging in the closet.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I remember. And I remember like one of the jacked bodyguard dudes because I know that actor from other movies, and I was like, damn, this is a crazy scene.
I don't know what's going on. Let's see, what do I have? Oh yeah, that 80s guy. Reginald VelJohnson. We got to talk about Reginald VelJohnson. Secretly the heart of the movie, I think.
That's the cop?
Sergeant Al Powell.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
I have a question.
Yes.
Is he comedic relief?
Is he comedic relief? No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Do you think buying Twinkies is funny?
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
And the scene that stands out for me is when like he first arrives on scene, right? And he's like this like typical donut eating fat cop.
Yep.
He doesn't do like he does his job. I mean, he didn't have any. He didn't really miss anything. He didn't have any real reason to go any further than he did. So I didn't not like him. And then he gets in his car and they decide to try and mow him down with an M60.
Which, by the way, that would have 100% succeeded.
Yeah, but the whole time he's screaming, right? Yeah. And he drives his car like a maniac. I was laughing the whole time I watched.
Holy shit, Jesus H. Christ!
And his radio report, they're turning my car into Swiss cheese. Yeah. The dispatch on the other end's like, I don't know what that means. Like, they have no idea that he's being M60'd.
I don't know. I don't think he is, mainly because of that one scene where he's telling John about how he shot that kid.
Yeah.
And how his like story comes full circle. He finally gets to kill someone at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that was the most ridiculous, like, half-brained scene. And I loved it for that reason. Yeah.
The guy's like, I'm dying hard.
And he like full screams before even getting up. He's like, yeah.
That guy is the worst. I think we could talk about him a little bit. There could be a whole segment about why that guy's the worst, but we should definitely talk about it.
No, they're like trying to like, it was the thing like Alan Rickman, he goes like, we're back on track or whatever. It's like a thing, he just turns and looks at him all angry. It's like, dude, smile, lighten up, like we're winning here. What's the other guy? Oh, the Johnson FBI agents. Both of them are named Johnson.
Amazing. What an amazing detail that had no business being in there. It didn't do anything. It was just incredible.
They are terrible at their jobs, and it's great. It's awesome.
Just like Saigon. What was the other guy say? He's like,
we need more backstory.
I'm in junior high.
I was in junior high, asshole. He's all mad. They just hate each other.
We could lose 25% of the hostages.
I'm okay with that.
I can live with that.
So bad.
Friggin' Alan Rickman just depends on them being terrible, and that's like his whole planning.
They're expecting transport helicopters. We're bringing gunships.
So awesome.
Every police officer in that movie is just dog. Just garbage.
They're just there to be wrong, basically. That's all they're
exactly
there for.
Right. Yeah.
They're just there to
like what
get
was
used.
What the hell was the police chief's problem?
Yeah.
Like what was up his ass? Like
everything. Everything.
Like wasn't buying anything. Nothing.
The police chief's talking to Powell there, and they're arguing about John McClane about whether he's being useful or not. And Powell's like, if it wasn't for John McClane, you'd be taking on 12 terrorists instead of 8. And he's like, no way, man, no way. My guy's running there. He's just like,
what the hell's his problem?
There was a turn for him though. I noticed on rewatch. Okay, so they send all the SWAT in, right? And there's the chief, the incompetent chief with the equally incompetent like captain of the SWAT team, right?
Yeah.
SWAT all go in, okay, and he's like, no, we got them. They're toast, but they have no intel whatsoever.
They don't know anything.
Which doesn't make sense because he literally argues with Powell about how they don't know anything about this John McClane guy and they're not going to take any of his information, but they don't know anything
about the
beyond that. So, and they even said that a few times. Like, we don't know what's going on in there. Send them in.
Go.
So then the SWAT guys go in, and they obviously get destroyed, right? And as they're getting destroyed, they're like, the captain of the SWAT's like, send the car. And the captain guy's like, pull them out. And that's the moment where the captain like realizes they're idiots, and he's like, stop them, get them out of there. And the SWAT captain's arguing, like, no, send the car.
I love that decision-making process for the SWAT captain. It's like, your options are, like, cut your losses and pull back, or double down and just, like, all in. It's like, I got no reason to believe we've got any chance. All in. And that's why he's captain.
And they just fully believe everything that they tell them too. Like he's like we need money to release this person and this person and this person. And there's like okay, we're on it, I guess. Even like Hans Gruber, he's like, I don't know, saw it on the news. Sounded good in my head.
I read it in Forbes.
Oh boy. I don't know. Do you want to talk about the Hans Bubby guy more?
Hans Bubby. Yeah, that guy's incredible. So right off the bat, you establish he's like a hothead cokehead, right? Like minutes into arriving at the party, like you meet this guy, he's like snorting coke on John McClane's wife's desk for some reason. You're like, okay. He's like, oh, it was the nearest telephone. Like, okay, cool.
That's peculiar.
Yeah, and then like they start talking. He's met McClane for like 35 seconds, and he's like talking about how great his wife is. Cool. That's like polite small talk at the office. But then he's like, we bought her a watch for being like integral in this deal or whatever. It's like, check it out. It's a Rolex. It's like, okay, like, cool, dude.
Yeah, but there's a point
weird
that scene.
flex.
So
he's like flexing.
But yeah, he was flexing. But before that, even the boss like obviously knows he's a cokehead because he's literally like, "This is Holly McClane or Holly's Gennaro's husband, the cop." and then he's like, Bruce Willis is like, "You got something there."
You
He's
missed
like,
the spot. Yo, I want to back up, okay? Because there's a point I want to bring up. Just 80s beauty. When John McClane first arrives at Nakatomi Plaza, he gets to the front to the lobby, okay, and it's like it's a ghost town. It's after hours, parties, nobody there, and he gets up and he talks to the front desk guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here to find Holly."
Gennaro.
No, he doesn't know it's Gennaro. He's like Holly McClane. And the guy's like, "Check the computer." So he goes his computer, and it's like this touch screen like terminal, okay? And this is meant to be like cutting edge, like top of line, and it's just like the crappiest thing I've ever seen. It's
like a
and
CTV.
he presses it, and it's so slow. It's like it's so inconvenient. And then he finds her name under Gennaro, right? And then he's like he gets the result, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, 30th floor." He's like, "Yeah, it's the only people in the building."
I noticed that
like,
too.
Why did you make him look
her name
all
up?
that? Like, no matter who he's looking for, they must be on the 30th floor because he's the only ones in the building. So you made him mess around his computer for like 10 minutes before telling him like whatever your result was, it was going to be on the 30th floor. But all of this was to just show us as the 80s audience how sweet and high tech that building is.
Yeah, because it's Nakatomi Tower, man. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that scene. I love the little things.
My only experience with Nakatomi Plaza was in Warzone.
Oh yeah,
that was
cool.
Yeah.
It was.
I used to love doing that. that little like you could like rob the vault and
Rob
everything.
the
That was my
vault.
favorite thing to do. All right, back on track here.
Happen a lot.
Sidebar.
Yeah, it does. It does. We're used to it. The lighthearted fun and like doesn't really need to make sense of it all with this movie. It's just amazing.
Well,
we've kind of got into it a lot there, but man, there's so many more things. Like
this is what makes the movie shine, in my opinion. It like, I guess it probably was taking itself seriously, but like looking back compared to like where cinema has gone today,
There's
it's
funny
hard,
moments in this, right?
It's hard to take it seriously, and it's just like a fun movie, and it seemed to put like the fun and the oh yeah factor above all else, you know, and that's what makes it so easy to watch and so rewatchable. Like every like 5 minutes, you're like sweet, like there's always some really sweet thing happening. That's what makes it rewatchable, and the like the sensicality of it doesn't matter that much. You know, like
really
look at
doesn't
Argyle.
need to.
Seriously, look at Argyle. Did that guy really need to be in the movie?
No,
he served zero real purpose. He punched the nerd in the face at the
Yeah.
end of the movie. That was about it.
that was it.
That's like my favorite part is just watching him vibe out in the limo.
With that teddy
But he
bear
was
in
just
the
like a
backseat.
fun, likable
Bobbin,
character, right?
And the fact that he has so much patience, like he was being a nice guy to Bruce Willis. You think that like they make a movie like that today, they're gonna make that character
He'd
stay?
be gone.
That character's gonna be like, "Fuck this shit! I've been here for 6 hours," you know?
Yep.
Yeah. But he stayed. He's just like doing all this.
Yeah, he's just being a guy,
He
being a
was.
good guy.
Back in their
Just
old
being a
school
bro.
technology.
Yep.
He's on the phone with him and the phone lines get cut, which that was crazy too. But anyways, the phone lines get cut and he's like, "Hello? Hello?" He's like, "You got the number? Use it." He's just
No, I just love all the like little like one-liners and stuff that are just peppered throughout this whole movie, and every single one of them gets a laugh on me because I almost forget about them. There's the one where like she's like, "Sir, this is a private line. If you have an emergency, you have to call 911." It's like, "Yeah, no fucking shit, lady. Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza?"
He's like, "Come down here and arrest me."
Do it. Just get here now. Bring the cops.
If you don't get off this line, we're gonna send the police.
Good. That was the part I love. The one part I want to get it made into a T-shirt. Whenever he throws the body out onto Powell's car, it's like, "Welcome to the party, pal."
That was
I
probably the
love that.
sickest line.
I love that line. I want
a
that.
dead guy in the car.
I want that on a T-shirt. Just him like that, and says, "Welcome to the party,
And
pal."
I love how at that moment, like all hell erupts, and Powell reacts exactly as you think he would. Like a body lands in his car, he just starts screaming. Machine gun erupts. And they shoot him for like 400 meters.
Yeah.
Like, you see, he's like a dot in the horizon. You can still see the muzzle flash from the window shooting at him.
And then, and every time that I think John McClane goes after the inept captain, holy shit, I love everything he does.
Yeah.
He's like, "Man, we're all down here covered in glass." The glass. He's like, "What the hell are you talking about, glass?" Those things. Like, "I'm not the one who just got butt fucked on national TV, Dwayne." Dwayne. I love that. I know a couple Dwaynes too, but every time I see him, like, "Hey there, Dwayne."
Do they get the reference?
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
I wish they. I mean, it's Dwayne Thomas. I'm sure he would if I told him, but he's a nice guy. I don't want him to get effed in the B. He's a good guy.
They even did that in the trailer. They show that scene, right? He's like, "You just blew up a building."
What the hell's another one? Oh, I don't know. The one thing that actually got me this time around was like whenever Alan Rickman he says the yippee-ki-yay thing, and he just fucking bursts out laughing at him. Just he's like, you tell he's laughing at him. He's like that was so bad.
Yeah.
He's just fucking just laughing at his right to his face, and I loved it. I was like, yeah, I would do that too. I don't know. Were there any funny moments that stuck out for you guys?
Well, we can't proceed without talking about the long-haired loose cannon on the terrorist.
Yes.
This guy is like, he's 80% why this movie works, okay? Yeah. Like, in the background, it's a subtle force, but a powerful one. Okay? Picture this. Like, your initial impression, we'll set up the scene here. Your initial impression of the crew, of the terrorist crew, is that these are, like, they're professionals. They've got it down to, like, second in planning.
Science.
They get out of the truck, they're like walking in formation with Alan Rickman in the middle. They got all their cases and all their stuff, they're like perfectly coordinated. So you're like, wow, these guys are like elite level pros.
Even further though, so not only that, they've got mounted machine guns, they've got a tow missile system.
They're not messing around.
Who the hell has a tow missile system for a robbery, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, they were prepped.
That's right. So you have to assume these are like top level world class terrorists, right? But the crack starts showing very early because of this long-haired blonde dude.
I noticed the first crack.
What?
Alan Rickman's the only one that's dressed.
Yeah.
The rest of them are in like tracksuits and sweatpants.
Well, I can see that because it's athletic. He's the face of it. They're the muscle. They're going to be running around and stuff. So that makes sense.
He's got to look business casual.
That's right. While Alan Rickman, he's just the brains. He's not moving so much. So I can forgive that. But the cracks start forming very early. And this reel back to the phone line thing. You got the number, use it. So there's the blonde-haired loose cannon guy and his brother are on this squad together. First of all, bad move. Never put siblings on family on a team. Never put family on a team, right? You know how that's gonna end. But they're down there, and the one brother's a hacker. Well, he's not a hacker. He's like a techie nerd, right? And he's there, and he's trying to disable the phone systems properly. Well, the loose cannon they're in no rush. They got all the time in the world. Everything's according to plan. They don't even know about John McClane yet. So they get there, and the guy's just finishing up his job cutting the phone lines properly, and the crazy brother, the loose cannon, just pulls out a chainsaw for some reason and starts cutting these like high voltage electrical lines, and his German brother's like nine, trying to tell him to stop. He's about to electrocute everybody and kill himself, and set
off the alarm.
And set off the
alarm.
So he's sweating like crazy. He's hurrying up, and he finally gets it done right before the chainsaw cuts through it, and then the guy's like, and he just walks away like he's some cool tough guy. But like, that's the loose cannon you do not want on the world class terrorist team. He's gonna blow it. And he has like multiple instances throughout the movie where he screws things up and he does blow it.
Yeah.
That guy's a straight up liability, man.
Yeah.
You need to check his resume. You need a psych eval before you hire that guy.
Too emotional.
Oh, exactly. Too emotional.
And I think the Skullet guy is the like biggest criminal of them all. I mean, he steals a chocolate bar. Like, damn, he's like the only one who actually steals something out of any of them.
That's true. Success.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, that made the movie relatable too, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
right?
chocolate.
He's standing at the concession stand. They're just waiting, and you see him like blatantly look at the chocolate bars, and then he just like eats one. You're like, yeah, I'd probably do that too.
Like, I'd be hungry. He's been there for a couple hours.
He's like, why don't I deserve this?
If there was like a Butterfinger sitting there down the hatch.
It'd be in my belly.
And I think like there's a lot of things in this movie on rewatch, and like we've watched so many movies and action movies especially. I find there's a lot of things that I find humor in that a lot of people don't, and I found a lot of humor. I always find a lot of humor in the original Die Hard, and I almost find more and more the more I watch it. So like speaking of the nerd brother, okay, when they first find out about the John McClane, okay, and they go and search the whatever floor he's on, the construction area, right? So he's going around, he's like, hello, he's like, turns all the lights on. First of all, he's smart. He turns all the lights on, and he's like, smart. I'm not going to hurt you. He's like, join the party. And he's like, holding his gun right? And you're like, man, this guy doesn't look trustworthy. And he literally thinks he finds where Bruce Willis is, and the first second, doesn't even know he's there or not, turns a corner and wastes an entire magazine onto the floor.
Keep in mind, not 4 seconds ago he said, I'm not going to hurt you. And then he turns... he just shoots everything. So now he realizes, oh, that wasn't a guy. I didn't kill the guy I was here for. He must know he just blew all trust. There's no way John McClane's turning himself in.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
You just proved your untrustworthiness.
Yeah,
another loose cannon.
Incredible. Oh, the whole squad.
Anything for you?
We covered everything already, man.
Preston's like, I didn't think this movie was funny.
I actually did. I feel like this is like the template for action movies that have come out after. Like, hey, we can be funny and have badass action scenes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, could I create an impromptu segment that you might not have?
Go for it.
Sure.
And if I do, if you have this coming up, cut me off. Do we all vote on what is the sickest death of the whole movie?
Yes, we can.
Okay, George, you go first.
Oh man, I gotta think about that. No, if you already got one in mind, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to go last. You go.
Hans Gruber.
That was a sick death. Yeah, that's slow motion. It's iconic. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I like the guy on the table. He's like,
Next
time, okay, cop. Next time you have a chance to kill someone, don't hesitate. Shoots him in like the
like
dick,
15 times
to
to the table. I guess Bruce Willis went deaf doing that.
He lost like 2/3 of his hearing in 1 year.
And this goes back to like the fun of the 80s movies here. They used like extra loud blanks, so like everything was like 5 times as loud as like any other movie. So, and they weren't using these like CGI effects, right? So yeah, that was loud enough to explode his eardrums. But yeah, that was a sick death.
I like that one. That one was just funny. Thanks for the advice.
You got one, George?
Yeah, I do. So it's a very like subtle one because there's no like one-liners in it, but it's whenever they the loose cannon blonde hair guy Hans Gruber, and they trap him in the server glass room, okay? And it's just before they shoot the glass. So they got him, he runs and they're all shooting everywhere, and he dives underneath a desk, okay? I think this is right after they did the whole scene where they figured out who's each other. And one of the random terrorists, they come out of the elevator. That's why he runs, right? They get backup. He calls them, right? And he jumps under the desk, and he got this little MP5, right? And he just starts blasting, and the third like no-name terrorist just comes out, and his knees just shred like
he gets shot like 75 times.
He literally goes like, like jumps head first into glass.
Yeah, that was
as soon as you started, I was like, the guy coming out of the elevator, I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
And he was like running so fast that he flew like 10 feet across the room head first into the glass.
Like an arrow.
Okay, that is, in my opinion, the sickest death, but I got a backup because I thought you might say that. My backup sickest death is the loose cannon. He gets literally in this big like fist fight, and then John McClane wraps his neck with a chain and like kicks him out and hangs him and like breaks his neck and hangs him. And then like 5 minutes later, the civilians run by, you see him still hanging there from his neck, okay? The building absolutely explodes, and then at the end of the movie, he shows up out of nowhere with his machine gun again. I guess he wasn't dead, he was just a little bit dead. And Powell blasts him like 7 times, and even then he's still hard to kill. He's like he gets shot like 4 times, and he's still going for it. There's a bit of a pause, and then a 5th shot, and he dies for real this time.
I love how worked up Powell is after that too. The guy's like, hey, he's like, he's like ready to kill again.
I love that death because he was only a little bit dead despite the ridiculous amount of trauma.
Like, how do you survive that hanging? You must have a really thick neck.
It was a hanging, it was an explosion, and it was like a 30-story fall. He survived all of that to then get shot 5 times by a 44 Magnum.
Oh, love it. Yeah. I love it. So sweet. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Great segment.
Let's see what we got here. So I talked about the suspense a little bit. I sort of talked about the dramatic irony of everything. Like the movie lets the audience in on things that characters don't know about yet. Like the biggest example of that is the gun on his back, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you walk in, you sort of know he has something, but you're not really sure. Then it shows the gun before everyone else can see it, and then it happens, right? So like it builds suspense in a different way, where like you're not guessing, you're just guessing like when it's gonna happen. You're anticipating the event. There's a couple things like that too throughout the movie. There's like the explosions on the roof. Like you see him finding the explosion or the explosives there, all the C4 on the roof before anybody else really gets to know what's going on.
There was so much C4 in that roof. When he finds it, there's like 100 bricks of C4. Like it's crazy.
That building's coming down.
Way too much. It was even the whenever he wraps the thing around him and he jumps out the window. Right, you see the thing go flying off and break, and he's like he's lying there thinking he's fine.
My highly technical expertise, that thing is a fire hose.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, so the fire hose thingy just goes flying off the wall, and it's like falling down, and he's lying there thinking he's finally safe, and then he gets starting to get pulled down. Right.
How heavy is that?
Oh, that real? Hard to say. Back in the 80s, that was probably pure titanium, but like it's got to be like 30 pounds.
Okay.
So it wouldn't really pull him down.
I don't think it would.
No.
Maybe
not like
modern era.
I mean, it had momentum, right?
Yeah.
And then it probably like the initial tug would probably pull him.
But
and then
if that thing was as heavy as they made it seem, like he undid the knot. The only way you'd get that knot was by relieving tension. So it couldn't have been that heavy.
This is mildly inconvenient.
What else is there?
they did. Speaking of like revealing something to the audience, like you're right. There's snippets of that throughout the movie. So like you actually see that they have some sort of like rocket system before the car shows up.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up too, and like just like that whole setup there, right? like they're just bringing all the rockets. They're like, freaking go. Like they drop with something and it's like, just leave it. We need to get everything set up. Like that's like suspenseful as hell to me.
And there's real reason for that, right? So they drop the one rocket and then they initially hit the car, and then they're all arguing about like, don't like you got enough, Hans, leave them alone. And he's like, do it again. So then the guy goes back for the rocket that's near the elevator, and that's when the computer monitor like right there.
Oh yeah, it makes the time for that.
So he looks up and he's like, oh shit. And he's like, so like there's a purpose. Like I noticed that a lot. Like, and talking about the Rolex watch, like the iconic scene at the end. That's what he's hanging on to is a freaking watch, right? Like,
I didn't put that together.
Yeah, so like, yes, it was a showboaty, like it's a Rolex douchebag talk, but like he's literally like you see his fingers.
Yeah. I thought it was just a bracelet. I didn't realize that was a watch.
It's a foreshadow. It's a subtle foreshadow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice.
I'm less mad about that line now.
Yeah, there's a lot of little weird things in that movie that like I'm like that was on purpose. Like,
I actually have that one in here too. So nice. Well done. And the part 2. I don't know, it's not really like a build-up, it's just something that made me go like, holy shit! It was whenever he's jumping down the vent, right, with the gun, and he like misses the first ledge, and he catches onto the second one. That wasn't planned, I guess.
Yeah, I'd read that.
The stunt man just fell, just missed it, and like caught the other one somehow. Guess he's fine. I don't know.
He missed it, just fell like 30 seconds all the way down. It was the 80s. They just got another stuntman.
They were a dime a dozen.
That's great though, and I find like stuntmen do not get enough credit. There's so many like things like that in movies where like the stunt guy does something or whatever, and they keep it or whatever. Like they do incredible work, and you can tell when you watch a movie that has a good quality stunt crew, and you see like those dudes taking a beating or dying or whatever's going on, and then when you watch a movie that just doesn't have the same caliber, and you're like, yeah, all right.
Like Terminator 2 when the Harley Davidson jumps off the bridge and they cut the shot. And it's just like fat Arnold. John Travolta looking dude.
It's just Tom Arnold on a motorcycle.
John Goodman.
That's good. Could you describe it to me?
And I don't know. I like how it's all self-contained. I like how it just takes place within like 3 or 4 different floors of the place. I love that. Makes it like, I don't know, it's not too sprawling. It's like nice and focused, and there's like, I think that really drives like the plot forward, I guess. There's always something to move forward. There's nothing really to get distracted by.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think that's what kept the pacing of it really tight.
I feel like if they made this in modern times, you'd see a little bit of his life in New York. In
flashbacks
in New York City before he leaves to LA.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, I don't want to see that.
No,
I just want to see him taking down terrorists.
About that action
focus
boss.
here, yeah.
But I think they gave us just enough, right? Like, the beginning scene, like, okay, like his whole relationship with his wife, his daughter was like, when are you coming home? Like, they just give us enough.
You see his motivation to survive.
And they establish him enough as like this gritty NYPD cop. A little bit of like what they say about the backstory and sort of like his journey through the airport in the city. How he's like, look at all his stuff. Or like when he gets to the party, that guy kisses him and he's like, LA, you know, like you see, like that's that New York tough guy, you know, and so you're like, okay, I get it. NYPD, tough guy cop, don't need any more, you know.
No, you don't need it. And I did think that the movie was actually really surprisingly well written, well shot, well composed, and like the pacing I thought was perfect.
Yep.
Like it doesn't feel long. Like we talk about this a lot. Like I forget how long. It's like 2 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours.
Yeah. Like that's a bit long for an action movie, but it didn't feel too long.
No.
And this movie did a good job of it being like we both of Preston and I kind of agree that the longer a movie is, the more of a chance it has to mess something up, right?
Yeah.
If this came out in 2023, it'd be 3 hours long?
Oh yeah. 2.5 hours probably, and it would be all the stuff that we're talking about that it doesn't need.
Yeah.
And I just think it does a really good job of like keeping the plot moving forward all the time.
We gotta tighten our movies.
Yeah, it doesn't need to lose weight. It just needs to tighten up.
Yeah, I got 3 hours to sit and watch a movie, and I just fall asleep all the time too. Like when I get a 3 hour movie that I really want to watch, I have to watch it in 2 chunks.
Like Avatar? Did you watch Avatar?
No, I watched
too?
It's too long. I don't want to watch
way
it.
Too long.
It's way too long.
Or what's the one that Western one there with it was a Scorsese movie or whatever?
Oh,
like 3 hours.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
I really want to watch it. I don't want to sit.
Hours.
I don't want to sit for 3.5 hours.
I got a counter to this though. So like the Batman was 3 hours long, and I didn't feel like it was. I loved
the only reason I got through the Batman was because I was on a plane. I had no escape, nothing better to do. So it's great. It's a great plane movie.
Yeah, I don't mind movies being long as long as they're not like bad.
Yeah, I think it just needs to. It depends on the genre. I think that because like the Batman is more of like a gritty detective movie than like a straight action movie.
It was gripping.
It was very gripping.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Just long.
And, very long. And that's all I got. Anything else you guys want to bring up for good? Because I mean, there is a lot, and I mean, this is just my personal stuff. So, if you guys have anything that I missed?
We brought up that this doesn't feel dated at all, right?
No. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
35 years later, like it's coming out back in theaters for its 35.
And they do the typical like 80s action movie, like hip firing, machine guns, and like using way too many bullets than they should be. But I noticed that they do reload a lot.
They do.
And they weren't like very atrociously hip firing. Like it was still accurately like sort of.
And this is what I'm getting into. It's like they didn't let realism get in the way of good time. You know, like they reloaded because reloading is freaking cool.
Yeah.
But they also let Bruce Willis shoot 90 times with a 30 bullet MP5.
Yeah.
And they like the action was so over the top and it made it sweet. And a lot of movies screw this up now. So what they did, extra loud blanks, extra large fire coming out of their gun. Everything was so freaking loud and cool. Hip firing, lots of people moving around, a lot of athleticism, glass breaking, explosions everywhere. And here's the thing that sets it off that movies today don't do. It was real pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
Okay, watch Extraction 2.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, the best movies. They're okay.
CGI,
and I'll tell you why.
Right?
Yeah, there's a scene where there's a helicopter machine gunning him and he hides behind a ladder. And like, there's bullets literally doing an outline of his body, missing him. And he's just like chilling.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, on the other hand, he's in that glass room when he doesn't have shoes when they shoot all the glass. So Hans is like, shoot the glass. And they like 6 dudes start MP5ing the whole room.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis's reaction, he like turtles up and he's like, ah! Everything's exploding around him. Like, that's how you would react if dudes are machine gunning
When I
you.
find out a modern movie, you hear them say like, no, like I don't know, I think it was the first John Wick, like no, like they did or whatever it was. And they're like, no, we use like the real stuff. We didn't CGI.
Yeah.
You can tell. Like you can really tell. You can be the best actor in the world and you're just not going to react
Like,
the same.
the Dragon's Breath rounds in John Wick 4. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
I haven't seen John Wick 4 yet. I want to.
It's like an overhead shot. He's fighting these guys with shotguns, and there's Dragon's Breath rounds.
Sick.
And
So you can see like the fire.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It made me think of like the old school Grand Theft Auto.
That's exactly how it's shot.
That's like
all,
a really.
It was interesting. Yeah.
It's all one take too, so it's all like following him along.
You're gonna love it when you see it.
I really want to. Yeah.
And the other thing I really want to like, what I noticed thoroughly on this is like, and I hate it with like not only new action movies but like all action movies, is when the main character or anybody doesn't take advantage of their surroundings. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis, every single person he kills, everything he finds, he goes through it with a fine tooth.
Yeah, you see him searching everything all the time.
Grabs magazines, whatever.
He's trying to steal shoes.
Wallets.
Yeah, he's marking on his arm like the terrorist names. He's actually a smart protagonist. You know.
So like a lot of times you'll see like the main character kill a bunch of bad guys, and you know they have like, okay, my biggest gripe is on Stranger Things. Okay. Dude, Hopper. In the newest, I don't remember what he's in the Russian base, and he's got an AK-47, okay? And he's wearing like a tracksuit jacket. You know he's got pockets in that, and he does not take extra magazines.
Yeah. You see in a lot of movies, they like stick to their pistol and shoot people, and they've got machine guns, and they won't pick up the machine guns.
And
now,
I'm like,
the
there's
only
no
time,
reason for it.
The only time that will make sense is in like a fast-moving scene where they're running. They don't got time.
Yeah.
But in a lot of movies, they've got all the time in the world to stop and grab stuff. It's like, no, I'll stick to my stupid pistol when there's like a perfectly good assault rifle.
And I really appreciated that, and all of them too. Like I watched Die Hard with a Vengeance after just because it popped up as a recommendation. I was like, hell yeah.
Same thing.
He does the same thing, and the side characters actually comment on him doing that. Like Samuel Jackson with The Vengeance, different movie obviously, but he's like, he's dead, why are you checking him? And he like kind of makes like a joke comment or whatever, but like that's what he's checking everything. He just grabs what he needs. It's sick.
That was the one that I guess John McTiernan came back to do Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Nice.
I don't think he directed the second one, so I think that's probably part of that working its way back in too.
Yeah,
like the DNA from the original.
He does it in the second one.
I think he does it in the second one too. Like I think it's just part of his character. He just checks everybody and takes their stuff. Because he does it in the second one because he figures out that they have 2 different types of magazines.
The blanks.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah. I've seen the second one once. I saw that one really late.
It's really good.
It's pretty good.
It is, yeah.
Makes me afraid to go on
one
planes
where they
fog
steal the gold from New York, or is that
That's the third one?
That's the third one. Okay.
Yeah, the second one's at the airport.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that terrifies me. That one.
One thing just popped in my mind about the terrorist, the guy like ripping on this loose cannon terrorist. There's a scene. He's adamant that he's going to be the one that kills John McClane because John McClane killed his brother, so he wants revenge. So he
How does he know that?
Yeah, it's true.
because
they say his
I
brother
have a
died.
machine gun.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's I
how
guess
they
who
all
else
know.
would have done it?
Yeah, and he literally says it on the radio.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he
He
does.
does.
Yeah. But anyways, he tells all of his terrorist buddies like, "I'm the one who kills him." So they're all right there. All of his men are probably going to be a little timid. You know, if they have an advantage, they might think for a second, which is like, you don't want to put your elite terrorist crew in a position to hesitate to kill the only threat you have, right?
Yeah.
Like, so loose cannon's screwing that up. Then there's a point where they're on this rooftop and they've got him cornered, okay? And all these henchmen are up there shooting at him, McClane's shooting back, but he doesn't realize the main bad guy's on top of the helipad, the loose cannon, and he's got his bullpup assault rifle, and he's like, he hears this fight going on. He knows McClane's over there, he knows his henchmen are over there, and he could easily flank him. So instead of like running with purpose to the position and being ready to take the shot, he walks the slowest walk with his gun pointed directly at the air, looking menacing. Like, if McClane popped up, he would not be ready. He'd just and also, if he just hustled, he would have caught him off guard and just murdered him and game over. Like, he's so bad.
Yeah, no, you're right. That guy's a liability.
He's a liability, man.
Carl, that's his name. That's his name.
So
Carl,
we are
Carl
doing
McCann.
the bad segment, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, but
well,
we'll get there later. But
Yeah.
we have one more section here. We're almost there. But yeah, I think that's a good spot to end the good. That was sick.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. You have that's what we thought was good about Die Hard. There's a lot more. So if you guys caught something that we missed, tell us in the comments on our YouTube channel. So let's move on to trivia time. This is our new section where we test our movie knowledge.
We're tied
with
up.
Stupid questions about movies in general. So we'll be tracking the winners, and a prize awaits the overall winner. That prize is a $25 gift card to Cineplex Cinemas, and the loser has to buy the winner that card. So today, you two will be on the team with Preston. I'm the captain now. I'll be asking these questions. We are tied up 7-7.
So it's 3 of us against you?
Yeah. I have the questions. You guys can deliberate amongst yourselves for the right answer.
Jeez.
So we're tied 7-7. It's the first to 10. So it's a battle
Questions
right
are
now.
really hard.
Coming down.
It's a battle. So we'll start. You said this one already, so I'll start off with an easy one. Die Hard was which actor's film debut?
Alan Rickman.
Yes, sir. That one's right. So that's one.
Glad you're here.
What is the novel that Die Hard is based off of?
I just read this earlier too.
There's zero chance I'm gonna know this.
Yeah, me neither.
It came out in 1979. I don't know why I remember the year.
Yeah,
I know there was another movie with like Sinatra or something based on that novel, but I don't think that movie shared the novel's name.
It's not the first movie John McClane's in.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I forget the name.
I won't know. It was something that wasn't that creative of a title. Die Hard was way cooler.
Tomorrow Never Comes or something. It's something.
That's actually pretty close, but no, it sounds like a James Bond movie. Nothing Lasts Forever.
Yes.
That's what it was
Goddamn.
called. So it's 1-1. So this one, I think you guys can all work together on this one. John McTiernan has directed 13 movies. Excluding Die Hard, give me 6 other movies he's directed.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Nice.
Is that one? Yeah, I have that one on there, so that's one.
I really don't know, but I could guess like random movies.
There's one on here that whenever I tell you, you're going to be like, no, I knew that.
Waterworld?
Nope.
Well, I would expect Commando.
Nope.
No, that was Joel Silver then.
Yeah.
True Lies?
Nope.
No, True Lies was Cameron.
A SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
John McTiernan.
No.
Did we say Predator?
Yep, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, no
Nice.
shit.
Yeah,
Predator
I know
2.
he did like all these like iconic action movies of like the 90s basically, but I don't know specifically which
That's
one.
2.
We need 6?
Yep.
And
One more.
if I guess wrong, there's no penalty for that?
Did he do any of the Alien movies?
No, he didn't
No.
do any of the alien movies.
Okay, then let's do
Lethal Weapon?
Nope.
No? What?
Total Recall.
Nope.
Eraser.
Nope.
We're just going all the short
Under
movies.
Siege.
Nope.
Any of the Seagal movies?
Nope.
Jingle All the Way.
Nope.
The Last Boy Scout.
No.
Oh, that was a sweet movie.
Good guess.
Saving
was a good
Private
guess.
Ryan.
No.
Picture
Now you're just okay.
Picture flashy action movies where they're like way too loud and way too many people die. Think here.
You guys can give up whenever you want.
The Way of the Gun?
That's a
No.
sweet movie.
Tombstone.
Nope.
No?
I'm not lying. I have all of his movies here. And
All of them.
all 13.
Okay.
He didn't do Eraser.
Nope.
Fifth Element?
Nope.
That was a good guess too.
That's a good guess.
Good movie. Armageddon.
Any Stallone movies? Maybe. Did you like what is it? The Assassin
Rambo?
or Assassins?
First Blood?
Nope.
No?
No.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I'm out. I give up.
Yeah.
Guys are out. Okay.
Walking out.
So I take that one. We're 2-1. I would have accepted The Last Action Hero, Basic, Rollerball,
What'd you say?
13th Warrior.
Basic?
Basic, yep. That's that John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, I think.
I don't know.
It came out in like
He
the
directed
early 2000s.
Rollerball?
Yeah, the one with Chris Klein,
Really?
the remake. Yeah, he did that. The 13th Warrior, The Thomas Crown Affair, Medicine Man, The Hunt for Red October. I would have accepted that one. And one of his first movies was called Nomads.
Wasn't the 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas?
Yes. Yeah, that was that one.
I probably wouldn't have guessed most. I would not
I've
have
seen
gotten
that in
6.
theaters in the 90s.
That was a cool movie, eh?
Yeah.
13th Warrior? Yeah. Should
Hey.
watch that again.
So it's 2-1 for me.
Some unexpected titles in there.
Yeah, I know. I know it was going to be a
God
hard one.
damn.
I'll give you guys another easy one. You guys should get this one. How many movies are in the Die Hard franchise? Total.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4 with Justin Long, and they did 5, and I think they did one more after that. What was 5 though?
A Good Day to Die Hard.
No, that was 4.
Well, they did one with his daughter. I think that was the one with Justin Long.
Yeah.
And then the one with his son, which was the Russia one.
So maybe it was only 5. The last one I remember is the Russian one.
It's been like a decade since one came out, right?
Yeah.
1, 2 with a Vengeance is 3, 4 Justin Long, 5 of his son with the Russians. I think there's 5.
Yeah, I'm
5.
gonna say 5.
5 is correct. Tied it up going into the last question.
Sweet.
Nice.
So this one, we'll see who can get this one. So name this movie based off of just the cast list.
Boy.
Noah Sagan, Jeff Daniels, Paul Dano, Emily Blunt, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Looper?
Yeah.
Must be Looper.
It was
Yeah.
Looper.
That was-
It was
that was
Looper.
great. That was a
Yes,
great
good
movie.
job.
That was an awesome
It was,
movie.
it was
I
Looper.
didn't realize Emily Blunt was in there. I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah,
He's
that's
the mom or whatever
yeah.
of the... Yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched it.
I don't know, I keep on hearing the door opening.
That was
Almost.
weird.
So, good job, guys.
Yeah.
They saved you
I
on
know.
this one. They saved you, dude.
Yo, Looper's sick. That's
Yeah.
a good movie.
Looper is a
Let's
sweet
do
movie.
an episode on that
I always get
after we
that
do Commando.
confused with Jumper with Hayden Christensen.
Oh, yeah. Similar titles.
That was fun, guys.
Good
That was-
job.
That was good. I actually
Good
had
job,
you guys. I
fellas.
had you guys on the ropes there. I almost
Yeah,
had
good
it.
time.
I almost had you. I
We've
should have picked a
we've
harder
made
movie.
these harder on each other the past, like, what?
Like
Three
since
or four
5,
three or
yeah.
4
Dude,
weeks
any
ago?
of the episodes I've listened to, I'm like, I have no clue any of these questions.
I know, but like we go back and forth. We either really easy and we're just like landslide, or we get none of them.
No.
I thought you
Like,
got this just right.
yeah, that
You
one
had
was
us
good.
on the
That one
ropes,
was
but
good.
just enough that we were still interested. It was good.
It was good. Okay, cool.
Good comeback.
All right, so let's move on to our bad segment here. I don't have a lot.
Yeah, me neither.
Um,
It's perfect. Move
yeah.
on.
I find, like, at some point during the movie, John McClane just turns into, like, a superhero. I'm just like, okay. No,
I
this
don't
is
know.
I
I
don't know.
don't
He
think
gets beat
so.
up pretty bad.
the
throughout.
elevator shaft scene. Like, a regular person would have died.
That's true.
Yeah.
Died hard, actually.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah.
Oh, the one when he jumps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair, but I
That's-
mean, it's also blind luck that he was able to catch
Yeah.
that second one.
Which is like half of his success in the movie.
Yeah.
Like
And
when
I
he
mean-
fights the first henchman, like the way he beats that guy, he literally just like jumps on him, they fall down the stairs, and the guy happens to break his neck.
Head just turns all the way around.
Yeah, it's just sheer luck. Like that's the theme of the
Yeah.
movie, right?
And I mean, he's like bleeding out the whole time. Like even like at the last, whenever he's walking up to Hans at the end, he's like barely able to stand.
His
you know?
feet are all cut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would disagree with you on that
Okay.
one. I thought, like I said this before, I mean the deputy chief Dwayne T. Robinson is his full name.
He's just a dick for
He's literally just there to be wrong.
Yeah.
That's
But
all he's there
like,
for.
As much as you say it's a bad thing, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I
to
know.
hate him.
I mean, I guess the caveat with this movie
You
is like
need-
all the bad things are good things.
Yeah,
You
because
need-
really good.
if you
You
did-
needed somebody like that in this movie just to be like the audience. Like,
That's right.
yeah.
If you didn't have that guy, then you wouldn't have John McClane roasting that guy. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you need the bad for the protagonist to just wreck him.
Yeah. I think I did notice one sort of decently sized continuity error. So whenever they all show up, they're all in that one truck, right? All the guys are in that one truck. And at the end of the movie, their like escape plan is to go in the ambulance. The ambulance comes out of the truck that they all came in.
Yeah.
And they open the door and there's no ambulance in there. It's just all full
Yeah,
of
I
dudes.
noticed
So
that.
like where'd the ambulance
I
come
didn't
from?
notice that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big ones. I mean, we talked about a lot of the radio stuff.
Yeah, the radio,
right?
for sure.
It's a big party line, right? Everyone would have been able to hear everyone.
Well, it's funny because they're like their rules are very inconsistent. So initially they kind of get it right, you know, where you click the button, you go live, you talk. Then they start like screwing that up because people are able to interrupt one another, which that's not how radio works.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they go on a little bit further to that. There's a scene where John McClane's not holding the radio at all. He's just talking, and Powell hears him. He's like, "Hey, everything okay?"
Oh yeah,
no one's
that's a
even
big scene too.
Yeah.
Where he's,
So like Powell hears him struggling, but he's like screwing with his feet. He's got glass in his feet, right? So he's not pushing the radio button, and he's like, "Hey, everything okay? Like, why are you making so much noise?"
and even that he does
the power of Christmas. He's able to speak into
it's a
the
Christmas miracle.
miracle.
I like that too. He's like. He's live streaming himself eating a bad Twinkie. He's like, oh my god, that's awesome.
It's like playing like Hell Let Loose when you actually have to push a button to talk. So like you could easily just not be talking, be like get frustrated with a death, but instead you're holding the button to let your whole team know that you're mad.
Everyone needs to know about this.
I guess that's better than him being like, I just had a bad Twinkie. Over. What's the other thing too? Oh yeah, so I think I thought this a while ago too was that they could have just followed his bloody footprints everywhere, right? Because his feet were cut up, especially after the glass part. Like they probably very easily could have found him.
Counter to that though, maybe he just murdered so many people. There was blood everywhere. They didn't know what
fair
wrong
enough.
with who.
Yeah.
Get out of here!
Blood-soaked
Get out of
building.
here with that logic.
Hey,
and reasoning.
speaking of blood everywhere, when Skullet dude gets murdered, there's so much blood, and he like dies like just like a nothing death like throughout. He doesn't. I mean,
Doesn't he just like burst through a door and get wasted?
he runs down a door for some reason, and he's very urgent about this. So he must know something we don't. And he opens the door, and John McClane happens to be standing right there with the machine gun at the ready. He's not ready at all. He opens the door, gets wasted. There's blood all over the wall behind him. He just dies, and McClane runs right by him like nothing happened.
Also, Takagi had a lot of blood coming out of his noggin.
Yeah, it just exploded. And like later, when McClane checks out that room, there's just a huge
full.
blood stain on the window.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, it's a lot. It's a bloody noggin.
He's definitely dead.
That was really all I had.
Did you guys
for
feel
so.
like the amount of swearing in this was kind of forced? It's just like
Yeah, there was a lot of swearing.
There's a lot of swearing.
But I like that. Like that's just how the movies were back then, and I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I
feel
watched
like
it again, thinking I
this
can't.
like set. I feel like it set a record for most F words.
Probably.
At the time. I feel like it did.
And how like needlessly angry characters would be against each other sometimes, like the Johnson and Johnson, like the scene we're talking about in the helicopter, just like Saigon. He's like, I was in junior high, asshole. Like, why is he calling him an asshole? Your colleagues.
Oh man, I wonder how many F words were in Die Hard.
I feel like it's a lot.
How many F words? Sorry,
70, we doing the over under?
There's a quiet
76.
I'm gonna go 120.
I didn't even
over.
I didn't even
Jeez,
notice.
I didn't
it.
think there was that many.
How many?
Oh no, I was.
Oh,
talking
you're
to
just
Preston.
saying.
I didn't notice it, so I don't feel like I don't know. I don't have the same opinion.
I like gratuitous violence, gunshots, deaths, swearing. I like all of it.
Yeah.
So how many did we have?
76.
76. You said
120.
120. Do you have a guess?
50.
50.
Really?
50, right on the
Jordan
noggin.
wrote that. Whatever you're reading, Jordan wrote that.
They might be the second or third one where they're like.
Second one had 63.
Yeah.
Die Hard with a Vengeance had 93.
Yeah.
Sick.
Wow.
Yeah, because I read one time that one of the.
Well, because
Die Hard-
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They just let him loose in that one, yeah.
Just be you.
That's so funny.
And he's like the most like commenting on all the racism. He's just like calling John McClane out every scene about being a racist. And he's like, I'm not a fucking racist.
and at the end, it turns out he's the racist.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, he calls him out on it. He's like, you don't like white people. He's like, what?
Now,
Say what?
What a great sidekick, though, for being like some nobody. He pulled his own. He pulled his weight, man.
That's the one I haven't seen. Is Die Hard with a Vengeance.
What?
I know. I've never seen Die Hard
I
with a
would say
Vengeance.
it's the second best Die Hard.
My mouth just
okay.
dropped open so big, I almost swallowed this
It's
mic.
like, oh.
Because like, well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but do you know it? Like, do you know about the movie?
I know Jeremy Irons is Hans Gruber's brother.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
So
job.
like, that's the whole thing. It's awesome.
Yeah. I know. Like I read that in like a summary somewhere, and I was like, "Damn, I didn't know that. I need to watch this."
Get on that tonight.
Yeah, I might actually.
And they like were like the most dramatic scene ever too. They're just like they're all in a van with the FBI, and they're asking him all these questions, and of course he's being John McClane, right? And then the guy in the back that hasn't said anything yet, he's like, Peter Cree or whatever the guy's name is Hans Gruber's brother, and all you see Bruce Willis just fucking like ghost face, and you hear like the music, and then he flashes back to Alan Rickman, like literally for like for a second, and then he says, "Oh," and they're like, "Right," and then they just carry on, and then Samuel L. Jackson brings it up later on, like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And he tells him why I threw him off a building or whatever.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. Holy shit! All right, was there anything bad? Actually, I do have one thing. They brought all of like the rockets and shit up to the 30th floor, but then whenever they had to fight everybody, they had to bring it all back down to the 4th floor. Then why did they bring it up so far?
That's so funny.
Just to show everybody, look at all our rockets.
And like they could have easily, like, it was a mounted rocket system. Now, I realize they're in a rush. Maybe they only got it together when the car was right up to the building, but they are so close to that thing when they blow it up. Like, it's crazy.
You can see like they almost get like singed by the fire.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit.
They weren't worried about collateral damage at all.
Building was empty.
Yeah.
And my other gripe too is I got a couple, but it's like a lot. So like, here's one that it can be countered easily is like they would have destroyed Powell, but I think they were purposely not trying to kill him.
Trying to intimidate him.
I could see that. Yeah, like Terminator 2
Scare him away.
Right?
Yeah. That, and in that regard, they did a great job.
Yeah.
But I also think that the C4. I don't know how C4 works. 'Cause I don't know.
seemed
Yeah,
like
like how he ties it to the.
But I feel like when he
TV,
tied it
throws
to the
down.
chair, when I saw that again, I was like, would that actually work?
No,
I
it's
don't
too
know.
stable.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
But he puts
Like,
the detonators in it. He
But
literally shoves like 5
how did he
detonators
trigger the
in it.
detonator?
Yeah,
I don't know.
aren't they triggered by electricity
I
or
think in the
something?
movie the impact triggered it, and I
Yeah,
don't know if it would
I
actually
don't think it
work.
works that way. I think you need to send an electrical signal.
We got a firefighter here. How does it work?
I'm not trained on C4.
Why
He
not?
did strap a computer monitor to it. However, it wasn't plugged in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Static,
be,
static electricity.
There's still a charge in electronics for a while, so maybe that could work.
And it wasn't old, like one of those old, obviously.
like a
80s, like
CRT
maybe
ones,
they're
right?
full of capacitors. And there's just like enough.
What about John McClane's strategy to blow up the C4 down the elevator shaft where he like literally like 9/11 that building?
Yeah.
Like honestly, the size of that explosion, I don't think it would be unreasonable to think the whole building could come down.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like that was reckless, dude. Like I don't blame after that. I don't blame that detective chief guy, whatever, to be mad at him. Like I'm like, dude, you got to get out. You're going to kill everyone.
Like, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. He's like, he just blew up a building. I was thinking like, what an asshole. Like he's trying to help them out, but
No,
like
dude.
maybe that's what his point.
He dropped
like,
it into an elevator shaft, which is like it's like a structural element all around it, right? Yeah, like if I wanted to demolish a building, that's
Elevator
probably
shaft?
where I would start. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I feel like it's a good guess.
The other bad too is I find the terrorists fell apart very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They're not
They
professionals,
weren't
despite what we're led
They
to
weren't
believe.
expecting a fight.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, like even the guy who, like I said, the kill that I like through the table. He's like, don't hesitate. It's like
Yeah.
all he was doing was hesitating. He was like shooting around,
Just
the table,
messing with him.
not trying to hit him at all. Enough so they had to reload.
But like
Yeah.
even when they first find out about John McClane, they're talking on the radio. Like Alan Rickman is 100% composed the whole movie. He's like the most professional of all of them.
Yeah.
But the other terrorists around him are like, "Oh my god, how does he know our names?" And they're
they're
like
freaking out.
freaking out in the background. Like, and he's telling them all to shut up so he can talk to him, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
man, they're falling apart quickly. And then the loose cannon, of course, we've already talked about him.
He
But
found them all on Craigslist.
Yeah. Swedish Craigslist.
and I don't know where to put this, but I'll talk about it now. I realized on rewatch that the I forget the guy's name, the black nerd.
Oh yeah, Theo.
He's the only one that
Theo.
survives.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
he gets punched in the
He gets
face, and they
knocked
like
out.
never follow up
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
He gets knocked
So
out a little
I don't
bit.
think he got away with anything because I don't think he actually brought anything to the truck in terms of like the money or whatever they were trying to steal. Maybe
Yeah.
he did, but
don't
he
think
doesn't
so,
die.
yeah.
He's still around.
Yeah.
He could have just
Maybe he'll
scurried
be
away.
the villain of the last Die Hard movie.
The 6th Die Hard movie. That'd be cool. Just comes back. All right. Anything else we feel needs to be brought up?
No. Not a lot of
Johnson and
bad.
Johnson died.
Yeah,
For the
that
record.
was that's bad.
It was their own doing, though. They were very reckless about their strategy.
They should. They deserve to.
Why
stick
were
around,
they
though.
flying the chopper gunners so low?
I don't know.
That's
Keep it off their radar. It's like they don't have radar.
I don't know.
that's seemed like a tactical error.
It didn't exactly, and it didn't seem to be an aim thing because they couldn't hit anybody anyways when they did shoot from that distance.
I think the whole thing was just trying to look cool. Though.
That's right.
Let's look cool. It's the 80s.
Yeah, well, that's like when they land the helicopter in the street. You saw it in the trailer. They're like coming in, like it's the middle of the night. There's like street lights and stuff, a narrow street. And they're flying low and coming in hot. I'm like, helicopters don't do that.
And I guess maybe one last gripe would be like any of the hesitation from the terrorists. Like it's typical scripted in every action. Always like a hesitation, right? One of the classic ones is like yippee-ki-yay and they all laugh. I'm like, why don't you just shoot them?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. And I mean, I could overlook it because like, I mean, especially that scene I can overlook, but there's a few times where I'm just like, man, like they could have easily just shot him, instead of going through whatever they were doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's also just
They're
action movies.
They're like
I
the
think.
Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings. They're just fucking around too much.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're all stoned.
Yeah.
They're all stoned as hell. All right, so that's that. Cool. That's what we thought was bad about Die Hard. So let's move on to what else did we watch this week. This is our recurring segment where we talk about whatever else it was we watched this week. It could be movies, TV shows, YouTube videos. Whatever we watched this week, we'll tell you about it right here. So I'll go first, I guess. I watched Napoleon.
How was
Any
it?
good? Oh no.
Was it for me? It was. There were parts of it that were really, really good. I feel like I was missing something about it because everyone's like, "Oh, he did so good as Napoleon," but I was like, "What the hell is going on with this?" I didn't really like Joaquin in the role. I think some of the dialogue he delivered was really like.
Does he have an accent?
Wooden? No.
No, he just uses.
Everyone's British.
Okay.
They're all supposed to be French, but they have British accents. It's a Ridley Scott movie, so
Okay, it doesn't need to make sense.
Default foreign language, they just switched to British accent.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. There was a couple it was funny. It was surprisingly funny. There was some like really weird parts that made me really uncomfortable, but some parts that made me laugh. There's a part where like they go to Egypt and he shoots cannons at the pyramids. I don't think he did that. It's just funny. Or the turn out we're watching it, just like one cannonball at each pyramid, and we're like, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. And then I don't know, like there's a part where like he asks for sex in a weird way from Josephine, his wife. You just go up to her and be like, it's literally that. He just literally sits there and makes that noise, and then
I want you to do that.
I told Natasha that's the new thing.
Okay.
If it works, I might try that.
But then like he just has the way it shows a lot of sex. Vanessa Kirby does not show her boobs, unfortunately. Either way, that's all I'll say about that.
I don't even know what that is, so I can't comment.
It's the blonde chick from the new Mission Impossible
Impossibles.
movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he has sex really aggressively. He's like a jackrabbit. It's really, there's some really weird things in there. Like I feel like it's more like a meme movie than anything. There's like a lot of like weird things that happen, and you're like that'll make a good meme.
Like on Twitter, you're gonna see gifs of this.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You'll see it like all over TikTok, Instagram. I saw one already. It's like me 3 a.m. going through the fridge. It's like I like to eat. Like destiny has brought me to this lamb chop. It's like straight up from the movie. It's just like I don't know. It was weird. I don't think it was for me. I would have preferred something closer to Gladiator than what it was.
Okay.
I give it 6.5 out of 10.
All right.
The way you're describing it, it's giving me Alexander vibes. Remember that movie?
I haven't seen it.
Dude,
Don't.
I know.
Good.
Yeah.
Don't.
We went and saw it in theater. We almost left. It was
No,
the
we
first
did
time.
leave. We
did
did leave,
leave?
yeah.
That was the first
Oh,
time
shit.
and only time I've left the
Terrible.
movie theater.
Terrible.
I thought about leaving.
And I
Napoleon.
sat through Splice,
Ooh.
Sorry to hear that.
but I left during Alexander. I actually watched Splice. I don't know.
I think the only movie I've ever left recently is MacGruber.
What?
Oh,
It's the best movie. What are you talking about?
You missed Val Kilmer's like not having a dick at the end.
He goes, "Now I'm gonna rip your dick off." He rips his pants off. It's just this fleshy patch. He just laughs. like MacGruber's the idiot because he doesn't have a dick.
Oh
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Preston
God.
even with this description, still doesn't regret leaving. Even less now.
He's like, we just confirmed it for him.
Dude, MacGruber was like top 10 best movies of all time.
It's the movie cinema was made for.
Okay.
I don't agree. I mean,
right.
I watched it, but
Dude, Ross, you're on my side.
I'm
with
on
this,
your
right?
team
It's a
with this
very good
one.
movie.
It's
a little
funny.
too
It's
over the top
hilarious.
for me.
Dude,
Okay.
It's like a modern day top secret.
masterpiece. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
A modern day top secret.
Gonna move on to what I watched. Anyways, yesterday I actually watched Silent Night with Joel
nice.
McKinney.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Yeah, how is it?
John Woo directed it.
He is definitely not him as an actor.
Oh
What?
no!
So you spend like an hour building up his character,
No.
and you think it's an action movie.
Oh,
I think there's
no.
maybe half an hour of action at the end.
That's like what was that Finnish movie we saw, Sisu or whatever?
Yeah.
That was kind of like that. It wasn't what you wanted it to
Yeah,
be.
it spends way too long just building up his character. Just
But-
why he's doing it. He doesn't talk at all. There's
Sometimes that can be cool, but
yeah,
you got to
but-
deliver, and it sounds like it didn't.
What's that movie? Isn't it just a remake of that Kevin Bacon movie where his kid gets killed and he takes revenge?
Oh, that was a sweet movie.
It's basically what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just
Death Wish.
Death Wish.
That was
That
sweet.
oh. Anyway, sorry.
It's just I don't know. He's not good enough of an actor to.
Really? Because I love Kinnaman. I was gonna watch it just for him.
I don't know. It's just
He needs words.
he needs words. He needs words to express his emotions. He can't do it with this.
Well, I'm
Man,
glad I
that's
talked
too
to you
bad.
guys. I was
Yeah,
gonna watch
the-
both those movies. No, I'm not.
The action is good. It's just there's not enough of
So
it.
basically, skip to the action scene. 'Cause I kind of know
Yeah.
why he wants to do it.
Right now, I have it like in a 5.5 to 6 out of 10 range.
Yeah, I'll
Like
probably
the
skip
two
that.
old men in my theater loved it. It's like, what fucking movie did they just watch? Like,
Did you watch it in Cornwall? Or?
yeah, there was 3 people in my theater yesterday. Yep.
Incredible. Cinema's alive and well.
Yeah. The best part was the roof is leaking,
Really?
so half the seats are
Really?
Oh,
closed-
that spot.
closed off,
Okay.
yeah.
Cineplex stock, baby. Let's
Yeah.
buy it.
Oh man.
But like
They need us to buy that $25 gift card.
after
for
watching
tribute
Die
time.
Hard, after watching Die Hard, then watching that movie, I was
What a letdown.
so let
Oh,
down.
man.
You would have been better off
Shit.
watching Die Hard 2 and 3.
I can't remember a movie where I checked my phone just to like oh, it's hour and 45 minutes.
Weh.
I checked it with like 15 minutes left. I was like, thank God.
Bad.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. Like I don't know. I'm kind of distraught over it.
Ah.
That's okay, big
Yeah.
guy. We're here for you. This is our movie addicts anonymous support group, and we're here
Yeah.
for you.
That's what he originally wanted to review instead of a Violent
I
Night.
did.
Huh.
Yep.
I did. I wanted to do Silent Night. I thought it looked cool.
Yep.
Like John Woo. I had all the pieces.
Yeah,
but
John
apparently,
Woo.
yeah.
You that would have been a good bet to make.
Yep.
John Woo.
The action is good though. It just needs more of it.
Yeah, that's too bad.
So what you settle on? 5.5?
5.5 to 6 out of 10.
Bad.
Yep.
Sorry, Joel.
Yep.
Okay. What'd you guys watch this week?
So much.
Pick one.
I watched.
Just one.
Pick one, man. I can't do that.
You have to.
I watched. Well, obviously Die Hard, but I watched what's out of the second season of Invincible.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
How far are they into that now?
They're episode 4. Just
Yeah,
put
they're
out.
taking a mid-season break.
Oh, are they? Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yep.
First season was awesome. The second
Yeah.
season has been good, but it's like if the first season was like an 8 out of 10, the second's been a 7 so far.
Okay.
Okay.
I watched the first episode of season 1 last week. Holy shit.
Oh, you've
ending's
never
what-
seen any of it?
Yeah, the
Oh,
ending's
it's so
cool.
good, dude.
The ending's what hooked me.
You guys
Yeah.
know that Seth Rogen produced that too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
Boys,
boys-ish.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
I
love
like it. And J.K. Simmons like sells it for him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Yeah,
it.
he's awesome.
I hate the kid, and he never gets any better.
He's the
Ross
guy from
hates
Walking
kids
Dead.
too.
I do hate
Kid
them.
actors.
But it's what's his name? It's Glenn
It's,
from
yeah,
Walking
it's
Dead.
Walking
Okay.
Dead. Yeah, but like his just I don't like he does a good job acting.
Yeah.
I just don't like the character.
Yeah,
It's
I
just-
know.
Kinda, yeah, and he's like
Yeah.
trying to figure it out, and like it's a typical, but like they just edge like enough like shenanigans, and like it's kind of like an anti-Marvel. I find like the boys, right? They kind of
yeah.
make fun of it, but like it's
Definitely.
serious, but they make I don't know, it's
Yeah.
good.
I agree. Cool. So I know I need to start watching the second season. I didn't realize they were that far into it already.
You got like a couple months.
Yeah, I got the time.
Yeah.
I did watch all of Gen V too.
Yeah.
Which I was thinking it was going to be awful.
Yeah, I think I said that.
Yeah, he's been trying to get me to watch it for a while.
I had a buddy that is not a movie person, Matt. Like, you guys have to watch it. It's amazing. Well, if this guy doesn't watch movies and thinks it's awesome, and I watch it, and I was pleasantly impressed.
I thought it was going to be like a CW level TV show. It's like, oh, it's a spinoff. They're not going to put effort into it.
Yeah.
And it bangs.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it.
All right, Dan, what about you? What'd you watch?
I watched, I can't even remember the name of the movie. It's with Fassbender. It's that Netflix movie.
Oh, yeah.
Killer?
The Killer.
The Killer? Yeah, I watched that. And I don't know if everyone's going to agree with me, but I really liked it.
I liked it too.
It held my
Agreed.
attention. It wasn't like overly flashy, overly complicated. It was just a simple movie. The performance captivated me. It held me through right to the end.
You didn't fall asleep?
No, I did not. And the action that was present wasn't a lot, but the action that was there was cool. The story was easy to follow and fun. Like, it was just a good movie, man. I gave it like a solid 8, but I could see how not everybody would agree with that rating.
I feel like held my attention is like a massive compliment in this day and age.
Yeah,
especially for like a Netflix movie.
Well, that's it. That's my problem with a lot of especially action movies. And I don't know if I'd really call this necessarily an action movie. There was action, but it wasn't like a Die Hard.
No.
But like most action movies, I'm just not interested. Like comic book movies, I'm barely interested once in a while, but I'm usually not interested. I've just seen it 1,000 times. They don't do anything new. But the story wasn't overly original, but the way it was shot and the acting I thought was very good. They developed the character very cool, and there was a lot of stuff that he was sort of talking you through, and it just seemed kind of believable, you know? I like when he's narrating his whole process. You watch him stake out this thing for 20 minutes of real-time stakeout, and it finally gets to the point where he's taking the shot that you've been waiting 20 minutes for him to take, and he screws it up, and he's just like, fuck. Yep, that's the appropriate reaction.
No, that movie feels like one that would be really good on a rewatch. Yeah, I really want to rewatch it again. Because I noticed a few things.
I'm going to have to watch this now for the first time.
Yeah, I just
slow, but it's good.
I just noticed a few things with the filmmaking and everything that I noticed. So especially in that first stakeout bit that you're talking about, most of the shots are still on a tripod, not moving at all. And whenever he's talking about everything, whenever everything's going according to plan, but then whenever those people come in and he's like, oh, it switches to a hand cam and a little
makes it a little bit
unsteady.
Intense, right?
Yeah, so it's oh, this wasn't planned, you know, kind of thing. There's just little things like that are adding to it. I mean, it's David Fincher, right? It's gonna be a well-made movie no matter what.
Yeah, I read a lot of reviews after the fact. A lot of people, critics, didn't like it, and like you say, that's usually a surefire sign that it's half decent.
Yeah, if critics don't like a movie, it's a good one.
Yeah, that's how you know.
Yeah,
it's not us. We like good movies.
Hey, you know what? You like good movies. Your track record is it's hit or miss. So it's either a huge hit or a big miss. It's never in the middle. So when you told me years ago, watch Warrior, dude, it was some nothing movie. Tom Hardy wasn't a thing yet, really. And I watched Warrior and I loved it so much. I watched it again right after.
Yeah.
I watched it twice in one night.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was so good. And then flash forward to recently, both of you guys were watch what's that movie you guys love? Everything
Everywhere
All at Once.
Yeah, you're like, it's the best movie. All of you, I heard your podcast. The whole, even Turner was there. You guys were like, it's the best movie. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this. I put it on. I tried, dude. I put an hour into this thing, and I was like, I hate it. I was literally
I knew you wouldn't like it.
I hated this movie.
I knew you
dude.
wouldn't.
You know what it probably was? Because you were giving general advice that I took, and if you spoke to me one-on-one, you probably would have been like,
you're not gonna like it.
I think I did tell you that. I was like, I really liked it. I was like, but you know what? I'm not sure you'll like it.
But you redeemed yourselves because I listened to your Prey episode, and I was not overly interested in that. And I watched it, and I loved it. It was a really good movie.
Loved Prey. Yeah, we loved
it.
Yeah.
And I got you on Whiplash too.
Oh, Whiplash. There was another one.
Love that
Top
movie.
notch. Or what was the one? Chris Pine and what's the one with the bank robbers? And
Hell or High Water.
Yeah, that was another one. That was fantastic.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So
no.
I guess he got more wins than losses, but that one was that hurt.
That one was. I know. So it hurt me too, man. It's you saw our reactions here just now. We're like, oh no.
I had to beg him to watch that movie too. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I don't know if he had to beg me.
But I seen it a month before him, and I was like, "This is amazing."
It just took me a while to
Art.
watch it. Because I mean, like I've seen the other one that he did with Daniel Radcliffe, the Swiss Army Man.
Yep.
That one was good. I really like that.
Yeah,
one.
you've talked a lot about that one, and I still haven't watched it yet. I think that's gonna be one that I wouldn't like.
No, you don't like Daniel Radcliffe, eh? I thought you didn't. Someone
I
doesn't.
wouldn't say I like him, but I don't hate him.
No, I don't know if you'd like that one. I think the funny parts of that one would wear off pretty quick. Because like it's a lot of fart stuff, and you'd be like, but then like,
I do like a good fart joke.
Yeah. But then at the end, whenever it's like the farts are supposed to mean like this like big emotional thing, you'd be like, yeah, whatever. So anyway,
Recast.
no,
No,
not yet.
Oh, yeah.
How long have we been doing this,
I don't
Preston?
know.
We got to do our recommendation and our rating. So I would just go through
For Die Hard?
Yeah, for Die Hard,
dude.
Yeah, so I'll go first. I think the movie's great fun. One of the best action movies ever made. Definitely watch it. Pay attention to it. Watch it again and again and again. You'll find something to like. Give this one an 8.75 out of 10.
I'm gonna give this a 8.5 out of 10, and I will say confidently that this is a Christmas movie.
You give this a 5 out of 10?
No, he said 8.5.
8.5.
Okay.
We're all just like, oh, this is awkward.
He almost just threw down with me.
5 out of 10. Just can't believe it.
I've been shaking my head all the way back home, like 5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
There it is.
For the record. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude.
I definitely agree it's a Christmas movie for sure. Yeah. On rewatch, taking it very seriously this time, I have to give it, I am going to say a 9.5.
Nice.
I give it that 0.5 for
it.
the bads, but the bads are somehow good in this movie too.
Yeah.
So, 5.
I would rate this the second best action movie of all time, and it is an 11 out of 10.
Okay.
Somebody cranked that knob right to the top and ripped it off.
What's the best action movie?
Commando, hands down.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He loves that one.
Okay.
It's the best.
He's been trying. He's been on me to
Do you like Commando more than Predator?
100% I do.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
100%. I tried to show Ross the highlights of Commando.
Yeah,
we watched the entire movie.
the whole movie.
I agree. It's a very good movie. Absolutely.
Do you go Commando out of respect?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll tell you why Commando's better than Predator. It's not like as an action movie. I mean, Predator shifts from like full blown that kind of action movie that I love to like
sci-fi,
a more serious sci-fi movie. And it's not wrong. That's great. But to me, that it won't stack up against an action movie because it loses steam because of that.
Yeah.
But it does have a much better story. A really cool character. It's a fantastic movie, but it doesn't stack up against the greats of action. But the first like 30 minutes, that's basically Commando.
It is,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it is.
They could actually take like what's his name, Matrix. Like he's John Matrix.
Yeah,
and it's a Predator. Like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
It's his crew.
It's literally
Got the lines, got to stick around. Just
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Love it.
incredible.
All right.
Dude, I got a funny story. So we were gonna watch Prey, my buddy and I, who likes movies, Alan, and he had not seen Predator, and I was like, we cannot watch Prey without at least watching the first Predator.
You haven't seen Predator.
So we watched Predator, and he like loves it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
How could you not?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
so we watched Predator and then Prey right after.
Nice.
It was a great night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you gonna show him the second one?
No. I went home that night and I started watching the second one, and I was like, this is not as good as I remember it.
I really liked the one with Adrian Brody. Predators.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
bad.
have to rewatch it.
That one was good.
It was definitely better than
AVP.
yeah. Well,
I didn't like any of the AVPs, but I did like. What was the most recent? Was it Predator? The most recent one where Predator uses a machine
that
gun.
one was
Yeah.
Predators.
Predators.
I had a
That
lot of
one was
fun with
the
that.
That one
Predator,
was good.
right?
That was a movie that like did not
the-
take itself seriously.
No, it didn't.
Or-
It was a
the-
fun
No,
movie.
no, I have it backwards. The one with Adrian Brody is Predators.
Yeah.
And then the new one was The Predator.
Predator.
With Joel
yeah.
McKinnon. Yeah.
No, it's Blondie from Narcos.
It's the same guy.
Boyd Holbrook.
Boyd
Boyd
Holbrook.
Holbrook.
Man, I'm getting my
You're
blonde.
all over.
I'm
He's
getting
not
my-
even Australian.
I'm getting my blonde white man mixed up.
Oh, that's funny. All right, cool. So let's. So that's our rating. You have our permission to watch Die Hard if you
Yes.
haven't already. So let's recast this bitch. So I don't know. I have.
Can I go first?
You go
I got
first.
John and Hans I'm going to recast John McClane as Anthony Mackie in a modern movie.
Oh my God, make him black.
Yep.
Sweet.
And Hans Gruber is going to be played by Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh boy,
I could see that.
it's funny because I had the same idea. I was thinking Anthony Mackie. Yeah,
Honestly, I could see that.
Yeah, I could too. He's good. I want to see him in that Twisted Metal show. He looks good.
Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to go next?
We named a lot of the actors that I picked as a recast. Do I have a limit of how many people I can recast?
Nope.
Okay, so I don't remember the guy's name, but you guys said it earlier. So for Ellis, the cokehead guy, I would pick the guy from True Lies. You said it. Well, what's the actor name who died?
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Right? So definitely him.
That'd be amazing.
I'd have a hard time picking, although I don't know if it would work because like I need them to be like charismatic, and I think they kind of said it. Joel Kinnaman was one of my first pick.
Yeah.
Or Boyd Holbrook. I think he could pull it off.
I like Boyd Holbrook.
Alan Rickman. So I literally was started. I haven't finished it. I'm watching the new Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So the actors, Boyd Holbrook being one of them. I didn't know he was in it. It was awesome. But Alan Rickman for me, or Hans Gruber for me would be Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. That's a great one.
A very close number 2, and I can't remember his name. He's in Inglourious Basterds, the German guy.
Really good actor. Yeah. He'd be a good one.
He'd
be a good one.
Yeah.
I was thinking of him.
That's a good one.
Can you imagine?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
He has to redeem himself from
Mission
Green
Impossible
Hornet.
or wherever he was
from
in.
Spectre.
Spectre, and he was in the Green Hornet too.
He's got to redeem himself from Spectre.
I don't find he was bad in Spectre. I just feel like they didn't use him right.
Yep.
No.
Spectre was bad. Not him.
Not him.
And then my last one is I just thought of Argyle. You could do Chris Rock for Argyle.
Nice.
They're probably the same age.
Yeah, they probably are. You want to go, Dan? Or?
I would put as Hans Gruber the chicken man from Breaking Bad.
Oh, Bob Odenkirk?
Yeah.
No, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
I think he could do Hans.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's like the go-to villain in modern movies.
He's incredible. So I would do him as John McClane. I'm going to do an unpopular pick here, and it's going to be the guy from Strike Back and the second 300 movie, Sullivan Stapleton.
Sullivan Stapleton.
I think he could do it.
I think he could do it too. He's got that like sort of rough around the edges, every man appeal,
especially in Strike Back. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
and then I put as Powell. I picked John Bernthal because it's a movie, right?
Yeah, he has to be in it. That's awesome.
Or John Bernthal as Ellis.
Not as Ellis. I agree with you, Charlie Day. Yeah. There's no one else.
Or maybe John Bernthal as the loose cannon.
Yeah. That's good.
That's the pick.
Good
that's
one.
the pick right there.
Carl.
John Bernthal is Carl. Yeah, that's it.
Holy shit! All right, so I got John McClane, Hans Gruber, and Theo. That's the hacker dude.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So John McClane, I have John Krasinski.
Okay.
I think might be all right, like a little Jack Ryan-y thing. For Hans
Like
Gruber,
the fat version of him, not the in-shape one.
no, the in-shape one.
Okay.
The Jack Ryan one.
Okay.
And for Hans Gruber, I have Stanley Tucci. I think he'd be good. What the hell was he in? He's in like everything.
Yeah.
Most recently, I think he was in the Hunger Games. He's the dude with the crazy teeth. One of the guys. You would recognize him if you saw him.
He's the scientist in the first Captain America movie.
I don't think you would know that.
No.
Yeah.
You would definitely. This is one of those guys you would definitely.
If you've seen him, you know who he was.
Yeah.
I'm up, Stan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Think you can pull it off?
I think I do. He has a lot of range. This guy. He's like really, really good.
I think it would be interesting to see him in that role.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And for Theo, I have Trevor Noah.
Oh, I hate Trevor Noah. I
feel like he would be decent in that one though, as like the hacker dude.
I could see that. Actually.
Although I don't know if he would be good at being like as crazy as the character is though. It's the guy he loves killing.
You
people.
never know.
He loves murdering in the movie. You can definitely tell.
He only murders one dude.
But he
loves
it.
He doesn't even murder anyone.
Yeah. No, he's just there. He's just there
he's
watching.
Like a big time accessory, but he doesn't do it.
He comments on all of them though, and he
loves.
Yeah, he laughs. He loves
he seems to enjoy it.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's that.
Nice.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Thank you so much.
Was awesome.
One more time, tell us where to find your stuff.
So it's MoneyBasics. Probably best to find us on Facebook or we're not really that active on the Instagram. Facebook would probably be the best spot to find us.
At this point, the biggest shameless plug will be our podcast. So we put it on everything, but our main one is Spotify. So MoneyBasics, you can find.
Yeah, you can find that easily, or we put like links to everything. Basically, it all trees off from.
Boom.
Yeah,
there
it all
it
trees
is.
off from Facebook. So Facebook or Spotify, MoneyBasics, you can find us.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Go look. Go give them a listen. I know I did. I started doing.
Go learn your financials.
I'm doing
people.
the debt snowball right
Good for
now.
you.
Oh, yeah?
Good
Yeah,
for
I
you.
am. I have an emergency fund.
Oh
and
yeah,
everything.
my man.
Hell yeah.
You'd
So
be amazed at how many people have been reaching out, like either directly or through back channeling friend or friend, and like coming in contact with me. And a lot of people are actually listening to our stuff and like sort of applying at least some of it, and it's super encouraging.
Love it.
Definitely. It helps.
Hell
It
yeah.
helps. All right, cool. So our next movie, we'll be back next week for our second holiday episode. We're doing Violent Night. I actually gave it a watch a little while ago, and it's great. I love this so much.
That's the one with
David Harbour.
David
yeah,
Harbour.
I haven't
nice.
seen
That
that.
one.
John Leguizamo.
I heard it was good.
It's pretty stupid, but it's
Like,
Well,
that's
I
what I
mean,
want.
great, yeah.
they didn't.
It's Santa
They're
Claus.
promoting it as that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that when they don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah,
I'm
have
into
fun
it.
with it.
I'm
Yeah.
in. I'm in. So I'm looking forward to doing that one next week.
I
It's gonna
seen
be
that
awesome.
last year, and the theater was empty. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Having a whole theater to myself.
Nice.
Yep.
You're just in there masturbating.
Yes.
You're scared of
That's what
like,
I do in
monsters.
empty movie
Yeah,
theaters.
that's what you have to.
That's why he wears his trench coat.
Yep.
And so for Violent Night, we're having some of the Beach Up Boys on. From what I know, we got 3 of them coming, but there might be more.
Okay.
So we'll see. And it's a full guest month for us.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We have a bunch of guests who we've never had on before, so it's gonna be a good month. I'm excited.
Right on.
So yeah, keep an eye out for the next couple weeks, and make sure you guys follow Money Basics.
Do it.
Give them all the support you can, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right. Oh, I need to play this outro here. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Simpleton Cinema.